HOJO Radio. Our next broadcast premiered in 1935. The program struggled in the ratings until 1940 when it became a national sensation. Within 3 years, it was the top-rated program in America. Few radio shows were more beloved, and few play as well half a century later. It was the brainchild of real-life married couple Jim and Marion Jordan and was broadcast to the nation from WMAQ Chicago. The show entertained America until March of 1956 and continued on NBC's Monitor until 1959. We invite you to join us at 79 Wistful Vista with Fibber McGee and Molly right here on HOJO Radio.
Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by Martha Tilton and the King's Men, and music by Billy Mills. The show opens with Sing My Heart. Have you ever noticed how it's the little things in life that are the most annoying? Take your automobile, for example. The motor may be hitting on all eight, running like a top. The brakes may be perfect, the tires like new. But if there are some annoying squeaks or body noises that you can't locate, they sometimes get on your nerves. Automobile manufacturers discovered that, and so did the makers of Johnson's Wax, who found that special wax dressings used as a dry lubricant on the rubber gaskets around the doors and elsewhere could cure many of these annoying squeaks. That may seem a far cry from the Johnson products you know and use, genuine Johnson's Wax, Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat, Car New, and Johnson's New Cream Wax. But it's just another example of the ingenuity with which the makers of Johnson's Wax have developed many special wax polishes and dressings for both home and industry. Next time you go shopping, don't be satisfied with anything but the best. Insist upon the genuine Johnson's Wax polishes. The lady of the house at 79 Wistful Vista is all in a flutter. She has some wonderful news for her husband, who is a little late getting home from downtown. The little man has had a busy day. What with inspecting new building excavations, selecting a cigar, and kibitzing a domino game at the Elks Club. But here he is at last, and we'll see what she's been so anxious to tell him as we meet Fibber McGee and Molly.
I'm so glad you're home. The most wonderful thing happened today.
Yeah, don't tell me Uncle Dennis moved out.
No. A man came to the door this morning.
The reason I thought it might be Uncle Dennis moving is on account of them two big corrugated boxes he's got in his room.
Well, I know all about them. But let me tell you now, the man that came to the door...
I was in Uncle Dennis's room yesterday, and I happened to shake one of them boxes, and it gurgled.
Well, he keeps his medicine in one of them.
Oh.
He says he never knows when he might get bit by a snake.
What does he keep in the other box?
A snake. Well, now will you stop interrupting me?
Sure. What happened?
Just listen now. An old miner came to the door this morning with the most beautiful hands I ever saw on a man.
What? You mean...
Stop interrupting me, Gee. You'll be talking us out of a fortune.
Oh,
It seems that this miner, while digging in his mine for silver, had discovered a vein of clay that turned his callous, tough old hands soft and beautiful overnight.
Oh, but look,
And
Molly,
he'll sell us a half interest in it for only $150. Do you realize that women in this country alone spend $3 billion a year for cosmetics?
Yeah, but Molly...
Do you realize what $50 invested with Henry Ford 30 years ago would be worth today?
Yeah, but...
Really, McGee, I think it's a marvelous opportunity.
Yes.
I say let's do it.
I don't know, Molly. I think this thing ought to be scanned into. I'm inclined to be kind of conservative about investments like this.
Yes, you are.
Well, I am.
How about back in 1932 when you dropped $2,000 in a felt farm? To raise felts for billiard tables.
Well, how did I know it took 7 years for a felt tree to start bearing fruit? This is a different thing. I think we ought to investigate first. I'm not one to plunge into these things without... Who's that?
Let me peek. Oh, it's Mrs. Uppington.
You mean Abigail Uppington? The rowdy dowdologer?
Yes, the poor man's Mrs. Astor. Come in.
Oh, how do you do, my dear? Hello, Mr. McGee.
Hi, Mrs. Astor. Uppy?
What are you looking so pleased about, Abigail? You look like the canary that just swallowed the cat.
No. You got that wrong, Molly. You mean she looks like a cat that was about to get the bird.
Oh, my dears, I simply must tell you, I've had the most extraordinary experience, really.
What happened, Uppy? Dennis tell you he could still save a few?
Don't tell me you finished knitting that soldier sweater you started in 1918, Abigail.
No. Oh, no, this was such an odd circumstance. Oh, everyone is going to think I am just the luckiest girl.
They just think of you as a girl. You're lucky.
Well, what is it, Abigail?
Well, my dear, this morning, as I was checking the silver with Crothers, my butler, an elderly miner came to the door, and he had the loveliest hands, my dear.
Oh.
A miner, Abigail?
Yes. Oh, a fascinating character, really. It seems that he had discovered the most marvelous beauty clay while working in his mine, and that if it was marketed, it would mean millions. So, I bought a half interest in it for only $500, my dear. Imagine!
Well, ain't you being kind of foolish, Uppy? Maybe this guy was a gyp artist.
No, McGee. I think Abigail is right. It sounds like a marvelous investment.
Oh, I'm sure it is, my dear. And I flatter myself that I am a judge of Western characters.
Oh.
I spent several winters out in Sun Valley, Idaho, you know.
Oh, yes. You used to go out there for the winter sports, didn't you, Uppy?
Yes, Mr. McGee, but I gave that up because I never met any. Well, yes, I did meet one, but it didn't last.
Oh. What was the matter with him, Abigail?
Oh, he was a fortune hunter, my dear. Just widow shopping. Oh, but now, getting back to my investment. Do you realize that the women of America spend almost $3 billion annually on cosmetics?
Well, I guess you girls are entitled to powder your noses as long as you're going to be paying through them. But frankly, girls, I think you're all wet on this beauty clay thing. Something tells me this miner is a fakeroo. I'll bet you...
No, don't pay any attention to him, my dear. Oh, no, I know I did the right thing, and it makes me so happy. Oh, I'm such a lucky girl. So lucky.
Lucky, there goes Ducky. Well, she bit on that wildcat beauty mud scheme, too, did she? I wonder if...
Oh, that poor miner.
What do you mean, the poor miner? Why, he found a prize chump in Uppington, didn't he? Why, that guy ought to be reported.
But he has nothing left for himself, dearie. There's only 2 half interests in anything, and if he sold one to Abigail and one to me...
Oh! What's this? You mean you actually gave that horse thief $150?
No, I didn't give it to him. I bought a half interest.
Oh, Molly.
Oh, but I wanted to surprise you, McGee.
Oh, my goodness.
You're always saying that women haven't any business judgment, and I wanted to prove...
Oh, this is awful. Why, that guy's probably sold 27 half interests around this town. I'm going to call the police. No, I'll call the Better Business Bureau.
What for? He couldn't do any better business than he's been doing, could he?
The King's Men sing Katie's Ed.
Katie was a lady with elegance, so showed poison. All the girls were jealous of the way she could lead the boys on. This little girlie began quite early to play with dangerous toys. Boys who came to grammar school with feathers in her lid. Katie did, Katie did, Katie did, Katie did, Katie did, Katie did, Katie did. And who kissed the little boys and ran away and hid? Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy did. Katy never brought her teachers apples every day. Never learned her lessons, but they always gave her A on a report card. Who dug the candy man for candy all the time? Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy didn't need a dime. Katy, 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 Katy went away to college, not in search of knowledge. She was after lots of fun, love, and laughter. Katy, 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 Katy didn't crack a book. Professors took one look. Sad to say they tossed their books away. Who made the football team break training in the spring? Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy didn't, Katy did, Katy didn't do a thing. And who rushed the banker's son and made him steal a kiss? Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy didn't miss. Katy did a lot of things that horrified the nation, just to follow her around with a liberal education. But who got the banker's son and 50,000 quid? Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, Katy did, you bet your life she did. She went and joined the 22nd Marines, and you should see what Katy did.
Yes. Okay, Bud. Thanks. We'll come right down to your office, huh? Oh, this is Frederick McCommerce, president of the Chamber of McGee. Huh? What's the matter with you? Don't you hear good, Bud? Oh, never mind. I'll see you shortly, and much obliged. Come on, Molly. We're going down to the Better Business Bureau.
Oh, I think you're jumping at conclusions, McGee. I'm still not convinced this isn't a legitimate business here.
Yeah? Well, then why should that miner sell you a half interest for $150 and sell Uppy the other half interest for $500?
Well, maybe one half is bigger than the other.
Oh, this is serious, Molly. The people of this town have got to be protected against these racketeers. And by George...
Hi there, kids. Can I speak to you a minute?
Oh. What's on your mind, Mr. Oldtimer?
Whatever it is, make it snappy, Gramp. We got places to go, people to see, and things to do. So don't dally-dilly.
Won't keep you but a minute, Johnny. Just want to know what you kids want for Christmas. Name it and you can have it.
Oh.
Sky's the limit.
Oh.
Yes, sir, you've been good to me.
Oh, now. You mustn't get us anything for Christmas, Mr. Oldtimer. You save your money.
Sure.
Go on, daughter. I'm up in the bucks now. Anyways, I soon will be.
Yeah?
Just bought a half interest in the beauty clay mine. What's the matter?
Well, Molly, you convinced now?
You win, McGee. The only thing I know of that has 3 halves is a restaurant cantaloupe.
Hey, what is this? If I'd have known you were going to talk over my head, I'd have worn my stilts.
You've been taken for a buggy ride, old-timer, that's all. A nice, old-fashioned, fringe-top, rubber-tired, feet-on-the-dashboard buggy ride.
How much did you pay for your half interest, Mr. Oldtimer?
$75, daughter.
Oh.
It was a squeeze, but I dug it up. Great investment, too. You realize what $50 invested?
30 years ago what Henry Ford would amount to today? Yes, we do.
You've been gypped, old-timer. That beauty clay mine is a fake.
No, don't say that, kid. Don't say it. That $75 was the last cent my boy Rance had in his piggy bank.
How terrible. It wasn't even your own money.
I should say that, daughter. Think I'm going to sink my hard-earned dough in any such silly thing as a beauty clay mine? No, sir. What's more, I'll speak to my boy Rance about this. If he thinks he's going to start lending folks money for any such wildcat scheme, he's mistaken. You wait till I get a hold of that foolish boy.
You see, Molly, that miner of yours has sold everybody in town a half interest in his imaginary mud bank.
McGee, I'm really ashamed of myself.
Oh, well, now, don't worry about it. I'll show that dirty skulldugger he can't do that to any wife of mine. Give me the telephone.
Here, what are you going to do, McGee?
I'm going to call the bank and stop payment on your check. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, my.
Hello, operator. Give me the First National Bank. Oh, is that you, Mert?
Ask her if she knows what $50 invented with Henry Ford 30 years ago would amount to.
How's every little thing, Mert? What's that, Mert? Your sister threw her husband out the window.
Heavenly days, McGee. Was he hurt?
No, he liked it. He was running to catch a train, and she threw him out the window a kiss. What's that, Mert? Oh, don't answer, eh? Okay, Mert, thanks anyway. The bank don't answer, Molly. But you mark my...
Come in.
Hello. You Red Skelton?
No. You read how green was my valley?
No. Small world, isn't it?
Well, the world may be small, but it isn't very exclusive.
Well, this is neither there nor here, Molly. We better get going down to the Better Business Bureau. I'm going to start some action against that phony miner.
Molly. Hey, I just made a wonderful investment.
You too, Mr. Wilcox.
So you bit on that phony beauty clay racket too, eh, Harlow?
Listen, talk sense, will you? I don't know anything about any beauty clay.
Well, now, what's this investment you're hooping it up about then?
Why, new linoleum for my kitchen and laundry room and dinette and entry. I figured that with Johnson's self-polishing glow coat to protect it and keep it beautiful, it was probably the best investment I could possibly
You mean
make.
you didn't know anything about that fake miner and his miracle muck?
Why, no. No, what's it all about?
Oh, it's a confidence man that's been going around town, Mr. Wilcox. Selling half interest in his beauty clay mine. He claims it made his hands beautiful almost overnight, and that if we put it on the market, all the women in the country would
Oh, that's why women don't need to go to so much trouble to keep their hands beautiful.
Now, just take it easy, folks. You know what Confucius say? When advertising is inevitable, sit back and enjoy same. One more thing. Please right. Why, Mr. Wilcox, don't women have to go to so much trouble to keep their beautiful hands beautiful?
Well, look, primarily because beauty is simply a matter of protection.
Uh-huh.
If women don't have to rub and scrub floors, and nowadays they don't because Johnson's self-polishing glow coat has made the care of linoleum surfaces a mere matter of pouring out a little liquid, spreading it around, and letting it dry. Why, there's no excuse for rough, red, scrub bucket hands anymore. Or you might almost say that glow coat is a beauty treatment for housewives as much as it is for linoleum. Well, I'll see you later.
That guy is so loyal to the Johnson Company that... Say, did you ever notice how straight he holds himself when he walks?
Yes. He's quite athletic, isn't he?
Athletic, my eye. He wears linoleum underwear.
I don't believe it. And anyway, this isn't getting my $150 back.
Oh, I'll pay it, eh? Well, come on, let's get down to the Better Business Bureau. I'll show that. Well, I said it. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hi, sis. I can't stop and chew the suet with you now. I got to transact some important business, and
Me too, I betcha.
Huh?
Huh?
I says, huh?
And I says, huh?
Listen, sis, will you please go on home? I got to run downtown and
So
see...
you're going to run all the way?
No, I ain't going to run.
You said you were. And when you tell a little child something, mister, you should never...
Dad, rat it, sis. I didn't mean I was going to run. I just meant that I
You
was...
couldn't do it anyway, I betcha. You smoke so much you're too short-waisted.
You mean short-winded.
No, you're long-winded. But I bet...
Now, look, sis, I haven't got time to stand here and swap vaudeville with you. I got a civic duty to perform. There's a fake miner in town.
Did you ever do any mining, mister?
No, I didn't. And what's more...
You ought to, I betcha.
Who said so?
Everybody. They say it's high time Taylor McGee started mining.
Mining what?
Minding his own business. And they say...
I don't care what they say. And you better get out of here before I take you across my knee.
Oh, will you, mister? Will you, please? Will you?
Will I what? Take you across my knee?
Yeah, and tell me a story.
No, I won't. I told you 100 times I got to go downtown on business. I haven't got time to tell any story.
Not even a short story,
No. Oh, well, all right. Once upon a time, there was a very busy man who was trying to get something done, and he kept being pestered by a little nuisance from across the street. So one day, he took her by the scruff of the neck and the seat of the...
Oh, goodbye, mister.
I'd have done it, too.
Martha Tilton singing Jim.
Why am I sitting alone tonight when I could be out where the lights are bright? It's all because of him. It's all because of him. Why am I wasting these precious years? Why am I crying these bitter tears? It's all because of him. It's all because of him. Him doesn't ever send me pretty flowers. Him never tries to cheer my lonely hours. Don't know why I'm so crazy about him. Him never tells me I'm his heart's desire. I never seem to set his love afire. Gone are the years I've wasted on him. Sometimes when I get feeling low, I say let's call it quits. Then I hang on and let him go, breaking my heart in bits. Someday I know that Jim will up and leave me, but even if he does, you can believe me, I'll go on carrying the torch for Jim. I'll go on carrying the torch for Jim.
Well, where is the Better Business Bureau, McGee?
Down in the next block. And I still can't understand, Molly, how you should have been so Gulliver as to fall for that yarn about a beauty clay mine.
Well, I don't know, McGee. I guess I'm inclined to take people at their face value.
Yeah, maybe that's why I was never any good as a salesman. My face didn't have any. Didn't I do that right? Hi, Billy.
Hello, Mr. Mills.
Hi, babe. Hello, Skimp. Hi, babe.
Hi.
Make it snappy, Billy. We got to get downtown.
Just wanted to say goodbye. I'm retiring.
Retiring?
What you mean, William?
Skimp, I'm leaving the music racket flat on its arpeggio. I've hit the jackpot.
You mean you've come into money, Mr. Mills?
You ain't strumming Nola, Mommy. Drop over at the house tonight. I'm going to dynamite my piano.
Hey, what is this, Billy?
Just made a smart investment, Skimp. Beauty clay.
Ah.
Gonna make $1 million. From now on, you take the low life, and I'll take the high life, and I'll be...
Oh, hold everything, Mr. Mills.
Hold babe.
Everything.
Well, look, Maestro, I don't like to intrude on your dream world, but Molly bid on that beauty clay thing, too. It's a fake. It's a gyp. It's a fraud.
It can't be. I got a half interest. Cost me 400 fish. You positive?
Well, we're on our way right now. We're on our way right now to the Better Business Bureau,
You
Mr.
betcha.
Mills. You better come with us.
Yeah, I can't. I gotta get home. See you down there later. So long.
Hey, wait a minute. What do you got to get home for?
I've already lit the fuse under the piano. Gotta put it out.
Got 'em all.
He took the bad news like a little man, didn't he, dearie?
No, why not? All his life he's had to face the music. Don't you get it, Molly? I says...
It ain't funny, McGee.
Well, maybe it ain't, but a joke as old as that is at least entitled to respect. Come on, let's go. I can't let that crook circulate too long. He'll tell everybody in town a half inch.
Oh, McGee. Here comes Mr. Wimple.
Oh, sure. What you will run into when you haven't got your flip gun.
Hello there, Mr. Wimple.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Well, you look kind of battered and bruised, Mr. Wimple. Did you have a bad fall?
Yes, I have, Mrs. McGee. A bad fall, a horrible summer, and a simply lousy spring.
Well, you sure got a profusion of contusions, Wimple. What happened to you?
Oh, I got those in a steeplechase yesterday, Mr. McGee.
Oh, I didn't know you were a horseman, Mr. Wimple.
I'm not really, Mrs. McGee. It's something I said offended Sweetie Face, my wife.
Oh.
She ran me out of the house, down to the corner, into the church, up on the roof, and chased me 4 times around the steeple.
See, that's tough, Wimple. What did you say that aroused the little woman's fury?
Oh, it's so silly. I just told her I thought I'd give up my CPA work and join the Navy. And she said, You know certified public accountants. And I said no. But I'm constantly pushed around.
Why, you poor thing. Don't you ever have a peaceful moment at home, Mr. Wimple?
Oh, of course I do, Mrs. McGee. In fact, I expect to go home right now and curl up in a corner with a good book.
Oh.
What book, Wimple?
Webster's Unabridged.
Oh.
He throws it at me whenever I come in the door. Well, goodbye, folks. You must drop in sometime for a game of bridge. Wouldn't we be a gruesome foursome?
You know, McGee, I sometimes suspect Mr. Wimple brings most of his troubles on himself.
Of course he does. Old 4th of July Wimple, the punk that starts the fireworks. Oh, I got troubles of my own, Molly. Here I am gabbing away when I ought to be helping protect the city against confidence men.
Well, you can get started any time. Here's the Better Business Bureau.
Oh, yeah. Well, come on. Let's hurry in.
Oh, heavenly days, McGee. It's a mob scene here.
Everybody in town must have got taken by that mud-pack mastermind. Boy, and does that burn me up.
It must be pretty important, McGee. Look, Mayor Latrivia's over there at the desk.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to our official attention that many of you have invested more or less heavily in a confidence game promoted by a certain alleged miner. It seems that he started his operations early this morning and was only apprehended by the police late this evening.
That makes them a bunch of all-day suckers, don't it, Latrivia?
Cut that guy up.
Was any of the money recovered, Mr. Mayor?
I'm happy to report, Mrs. McGee, that the major portion of all losses will be refunded.
Great stuff, Latrivia. I come down here to help you run that phony miner down, but it looks like you were on the job, all right.
Yes, we endeavor to keep in pretty close touch with any new racket, Mr. McGee.
I put in $150 for a half interest in the Beauty Clay mine, Mr. Mayor.
I know you did, and perhaps this will teach you the value of our slogan, Mrs. McGee.
What is your slogan, Latrivia? If you don't save your dimes, you'll never move into better quarters?
No, McGee.
Oh.
Our watchword is before you invest, investigate.
Before you invest, investigate.
That's right. Here, Mrs. McGee, allow me to return your check for $150.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. Look, McGee, I got it back.
Now, that's swell, Molly, and I hope that'll teach you a lesson.
And here is your check for $500, Mr. McGee.
Oh, thanks, Latrivia. Well, come on, Molly.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute.
What's the matter, dear?
Don't get mushy with me. And you had the nerve to be mad at me for buying it.
Oh, I wasn't mad at you, Mom. I was sore at that miner. He had no business selling any half interest after I went and bought the whole mine.
In many ways, I think the women in this country are the luckiest in the world. They have more liberty and freedom, greater equality than elsewhere. They have more leisure time and more interesting things to do during that free time. Speaking as a man, I'm certainly for it, and I'm glad to be working for a company that has made contributions in that direction. The original Johnson's wax itself was certainly a labor-saving aid in housekeeping. Johnson's self-polishing glow coat was surely another. Think back for a moment to those floor-scrubbing days before Glow Coat came along to protect and beautify kitchen linoleum floors. Now, because Glow Coat needs no rubbing or buffing, you just apply and let dry. And not only do you save hours of work, but your linoleum lasts much longer. Glow Coat is so popular, there are, of course, imitations available. But there's only one Glow Coat. If I were you, I would always insist upon it.
McGee, where have you been?
Oh, who, me? Oh, I've been down to the county jail. I gave that confidence man a darn good talking to, too.
You think it did any good?
Absolutely. He was so sorry and full of remorse, you know what he done.
What'd he do?
He sold me a solid gold watch for only $5. You see? It's every bit as good as my own.
It should be. It is your own.
Yes, sir. What? Oh, my gosh. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for home and industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night, and reminding you that America's first line of defense is you and your support. So invest to the best of your ability in defense saving bonds. Good night.
Whether your car is new or 10 years old, it will pay you dividends to keep it polished with Johnson's Car New, the new auto polish that both cleans and polishes in one application. Car New is a time and money saver. It's a liquid. After the car is washed, massage Car New lightly over the finish. Let it dry, wipe it off. It's fun driving a car that shines like new. Ask your regular wax dealer, auto supply store, or service station for Johnson's Carnu, spelled C-A-R-N-U. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
HOJO Radio. We're your old-time radio headquarters. Stay tuned.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by Martha Tilton and the King's Men, and music by Billy Mills. The show opens with Who Cares? There's a curious thing about this month of December. It's the one month when you really want your home to look its best, and yet you're busier than any other time of the year. What's the answer to that problem? Genuine Johnson's Wax, the famous polish that makes floors, furniture, and woodwork gleam with rich beauty and saves you work in the bargain. Women who practice protective housekeeping with Johnson's Wax don't have to worry about things like the Christmas holidays. Their homes are ready on short notice for entertaining, and their floors can take all the extra punishment that vacationing children have in store for them. The self-protective coat of Johnson's Wax acts as a shield, guarding finishes against wear and making daily housework easier, too. More and more housekeepers are Johnson waxing their windowsills, picture frames, and leather articles, in addition to floors, furniture, and woodwork. In fact, there are 100 extra labor-saving uses for genuine Johnson's Wax, which you can now buy in 3 forms: paste, liquid, or the new cream wax. Make a note now to buy some tomorrow. Sometimes we wonder if moving pictures are a good influence on growing men. Or maybe our hero is just too impressionable. Anyway, ever since he saw Mr. Ronald Coleman a few nights ago, he has developed a British accent and started a mustache. If you could call that pathetic little growth on his upper lip a mustache. For further details, we refer you to Fibber McGee and Molly.
For goodness sakes, McGee, put that looking glass away and stop primping.
Oh, come, old girl. And a chap tried to put in a decent appearance without...
McGee, please.
Huh?
Please, dearie, drop that phony English accent. You sound like a stock company juvenile. With adenoids.
Stock company juvenile. Oh, I say, that's jolly good, really.
Oh, I give up. I'll go over to Mrs. Stoops for a while.
Oh, Molly, just because I'm trying to improve myself.
You think that mustache improved, Jenny?
Frankly, I do, Molly. Oh, not that I expect to look as good as Ronald Coleman, though I am better built.
Not better, dearie.
Hmm?
You're just a little more buxom in the belt.
Well, anyway, this mustache is going to change my whole personality. Don't you think it gives me a kind of a air?
No, but that stuff you're putting on it does. What on earth is that?
Oh, this lotion? Oh, that's a recipe the old-timer gave me. Says it's marvelous for mustaches. Been in his family for generations.
Well, it smells like it.
Hmm?
Why don't they mix up a fresh batch?
Okay. Scoff if you want to. But you'll be sorry.
Hey, Johnny, here's a different kind of lotion. Try this on your mustache.
Okay, old-timer, much obliged. This other stuff you brought me don't seem to do much good.
I know. Brought you the wrong recipe.
Huh?
That was Grandma's homemade fly spray.
Fly spray.
Hey, you might have poisoned me, old-timer. It's a good thing you come back.
Oh, it won't hurt human beings none, Johnny.
Oh.
Grandma fed a spoonful to my cousin Trimble, and he never suffered no ill effects.
That's all.
That is, unless you call running around the block screaming and hiccuping the ill effects.
Say, does your grandmother put up a lot of these home remedies, Mr. Oldtimer?
Sure does, daughter. Never forget the time my boy Rance got his arm caught in the lawnmower. Well, sir, Grandma come trotting out, yanked his arm loose, rubbed some awful smelling salve onto it, give it a couple of jerks, and that lawnmower runs just as good as ever. Well, leave me know if this stuff don't help, Johnny.
Well, he's taking quite an interest in your mustache, dearie.
Yeah, he says his whole family's affected that way. You know, his great-grandmother got scared by a bicycle at the St. Louis Exposition, and believe it or not, Molly, when his father grew up, he had handlebar mustaches.
Oh, my, isn't heredity interesting? Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a mince pie in the oven. Oh, dear, I wonder who that is.
Well, whoever it is now, don't say anything about my mustache, Molly. Let's see if they notice.
Well, can't I just point and snicker a little?
No, please, Molly.
Come in.
Good day, my dear. Hello there, McGee.
Oh, hello, Mr. Mayor.
Hi, Latrivia. What's cooking?
McGee, if there's anything I deplore, it is the idiotic custom of opening a conversation with such senseless questions as what's cooking, how's everything, and what you know. They are meaningless and unanswerable.
It's just silly, ain't it? I never thought of it that way before, did you, Molly?
Well, frequently, as you must know.
Oh.
But if you'll excuse me, Mr. Mayor, I've got to run out in the kitchen a minute.
Certainly, Mrs. McGee. And I must say something smells delicious. What's cooking?
The question is meaningless, but it ain't unanswerable, Latriv. It's a mince pie.
Yes, and if I don't go take a look
Well,
at
Latrivia, notice anything different about me?
No, I don't believe I do, McGee.
Oh, I say, old chap, take a good look. It's something new for me, you know, really.
Something new, eh?
Yes, really.
No, don't tell me. Let me guess.
I really did it because I always admired yours so much, Latrivia. You catch on to it?
Oh, how stupid of me. Congratulations.
Well, thanks.
You've had your shoes shined.
No, you don't get it. Take a gander at my upper lip.
I can't see your lip with all those whiskers on it.
What do you mean, whiskers? That's a mustache.
Oh, yes. Of course. And very becoming to you, too.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Hey, Molly, Latrivia thinks it looks good on me.
Oh, do you really, Mr. Mayor?
Indeed I do, Mrs. McGee. In fact, your husband's name came up this morning in regard to some Chamber of Commerce business, and my secretary said, now, if Mr. McGee only had something in front of his face. But let's get back to business.
If we only had something in front of... what business, Triv?
I'm seriously considering renting the house next door to you, McGee.
Oh.
When you plan on bringing over your other shirt and coffee pot, Latrivia?
Well, it's not settled definitely, McGee. The man who lived there before, Mr. Gildersleeve, I believe, where did he move to?
Sunday.
Ah, yes. Well, he told me he had quite some trouble with his next-door neighbors. Now, tell me, who lives on the other side of that house?
You mean you don't know?
Know what, Mrs. McGee?
The house on the other side of that house, Latrivia, ain't a house. It's a vacant lot.
Oh, then he must have meant that...
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, I don't believe it. Quite. But I shall investigate further. Good day, Mrs. McGee. And, McGee...
Yeah?
Tell your mustache that the strange man is leaving and it can come out now. Martha Tilton saying, kiss the boys goodbye.
We're such a happy pair that it isn't right, no, it isn't fair. To all those other boys I gave the air. Oh, Daddy, let me stay out late, for tomorrow is our wedding day. Can't the baby kind of celebrate? Kiss the boys goodbye. Daddy, let me wear the ming. What's the difference what the neighbors think? Let the baby linger on the brink. Kiss the boys goodbye. And while I'm kissing them sentimentally, keep the liberal point of view. Because I'm breaking it to them gently that my heart belongs to you. So, Daddy, please remember this, that tomorrow starts a life of bliss. Let me show them what they're gonna miss. Kiss the boys goodbye. Be reasonable, Daddy. Give me one more night to play. I want to sever all my connections in a ladylike sort of way. I can't afford to have a scene on my wedding day. I'd hate to have 17 fellas give the bride away. So, Daddy,
Daddy, please remember this, that tomorrow's got the life of bliss. Let me show them what they're gonna miss. Kiss the boys goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
What's gonna change their name?
Goodbye. Goodbye.
What will become of us?
Let me show you what you're gonna miss. Kiss the boys goodbye.
Oh, I had upper lip, but it quivered in the storm. So I raised a little mustache just to keep it warm. Oh, I had a dad rat this looking glass. Makes me look like Dracula with a hangover. Oh, I had a little
For goodness sake,
calling me, dear.
don't get mushy with me. Look, I just saw your watch on the dresser and the crystal has gone out of it. You want me to take it down to the jeweler's?
No, thanks. I took it out myself. I got it right here, I have.
What are you using it for?
Well, I jolly well wanted to see how I'd look in a monocle.
Well, how did it look, if you'll pardon my morbid curiosity?
I couldn't say, really. Had to squint so hard to keep the bowie thing screwed in, I couldn't see.
Look, now, I admire the British just as much as you do, dearie, but take it easy. It's dangerous.
What you mean, dangerous, Mom?
The first time you start driving on the left-hand side of the road, you will be in a mess. Come in.
McGee's residence?
Oh, rather, old fellow. But we usually ask the tradesmen to deliver merchandise at the rear, you know.
Oh, zip it up, Orson. Here, sign the receipt.
What's this package?
Some stuff this guy brought down at Haggerty's Snuggery Tuggery. Much obliged, lady. And you, Basil.
Hey?
Quit trying to act like a Yank at Oxford and just be a jerk at home.
Zip it up, Basil. Why, that fresh mug?
Well, say, what have you been buying down at Haggerty's Snuggery Tuggery?
Oh, I thought I might as well go all the way, Molly, as long as I'm improving my appearance. I got a black Homburg hat and a pair of yellow gloves and some spats and a walking stick.
Well, heavenly days. What is the world coming to? And when?
Oh, I'll admit the walking stick might be a touch too much, but you can't.
Oh, no.
Huh?
No, it isn't, McGee. If you wear the spats and yellow gloves, you'll need to carry your stick. And maybe some brass knuckles.
Well, let's see if I sent my godpers in with this package. Oh, dad rat it. They forgot something.
Oh, I say, dear boy, what did the chappies forget? Your shooting jacket for formal crack games?
Nah, them stupid goons forgot to put in my purple velvet smoking jacket.
Will your lordship excuse me if I sit down a moment? I'm a little overwhelmed.
Oh, don't be like that, Molly. Don't you want your husband to be well-groomed? Don't you want me to look smooth?
Oh, you'll be smooth, all right. You wear those spats and yellow gloves and somebody will polish you off. But say, tell me, did you only get one smoking jacket?
Sure. You think I need two?
Well, won't you need a longer one? For when you smoke king-size cigarettes? For goodness sake, stop looking at yourself in the mirror.
Hello, folks. What's cooking?
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
I say, old chap, is it necessary to use such weird expressions as what's cooking, how's everything, and what do you know? Really, they're rather senseless and unanswerable, you know. Oh, quite. Say what?
Say, what goes on here anyway? Is he on the level, Molly?
Well, he thinks he's on the level, but it's uphill work.
Won't you step in and have a spot of tea, old chap? I say, be a good girl and put the kettle on, old thing.
We're not having any tea, and don't call me an old thing. How about a slug of root beer or something, Mr. Wilcox?
No, thanks, but I'd still like to know what this is all about.
Well, I tell you, he saw Ronald Coleman in a picture the other night, and he's been like this ever since. I only hope they don't revive King Kong. I've had enough of this monkey business.
Well, hey, look, Fibber.
McGee, Mr. Wilcox is speaking to you. Turn around.
I can see him. I'm looking in the mirror, ain't I? Hey, Harlow, you see anything different about me?
No, except your face is dirty. You've got a smudge on your upper lip there.
That ain't a smudge. It's a mustache.
Gee, is it?
I bet Mr. Wilcox was never so foolish as to try and raise a mustache.
Well, you'd lose that bet, Molly. I tried to raise one once, but I had to give it up.
I got a nasty suspicion, folks, that this is leading into something. I can't get out of it now. Why did you give it up, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, it interfered with business. Every time I started to demonstrate Johnson's self-polishing glow coat and how it keeps linoleum spotless and sparkling with a minimum of time and effort, no rubbing or buffing.
Yes. You just pour a little out, spread it on, and wait for it to dry to a gorgeous mirror-like finish, and it restores the beauty of the pattern and gives housewives hours of extra leisure, and don't accept any substitutes, and get some from your nearest dealer today. We know. Now, what about your mustache?
Yes, how did it interfere with your business, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, I'll tell you, I'd no sooner get through telling people how spotless it made their linoleum than I'd look down and see that black smudge. Every time I looked down, there it was. It made me nervous, so I shaved it off.
Oh, that's it. I feel like Uncle Dennis trying to pass Joe's Tavern. I walked right into it. Did you bring me that book, Marlowe?
Oh, yes. Here. No hurry about returning it, pal. Keep it as long as you like. Well, so long now.
So long, Marlowe.
What's the book, dearie?
It's an English book, How to Play Cricket.
How to play with a cricket? Oh, no, you don't, Mickey. I won't have one in the house.
But, Molly, it's just a game.
I don't care if it is. In the first place, they're too noisy. Tweet, tweet, tweet all night long. No, sir, if you want...
Molly, this cricket ain't an insect.
I know an insect when I see one.
This is like baseball, only the difference is...
That's even worse. A man of your age playing baseball with a cricket. Heavenly days, McGee. First an English accent, and then mustache and a monocle, and now you play games with bugs.
Oh.
What's gotten into you?
Hey, Molly.
What?
You ever go to a quilting bee?
Yes, I have.
You ever get stung?
Don't be silly. It wasn't a real bee.
Well, cricket ain't a real cricket either. That's the English name for baseball.
All right, dearie, all right. I give up. Go out and play golf with the grasshoppers if you like.
Play ball, come in. Oh, hi, Sid.
Hi, mister.
Hiya.
You want to send any messages to Santa Claus? My mama's taking me down to Bontown Department Store tonight.
Oh, she is, huh?
Hmm?
I said she is, eh?
Guess what?
Your mama's going to take you down to see Santa Claus.
Hi, Nora. You want me to tell him anything for you?
Oh, I don't know, sis. What's the procedure? How do you go about it?
On the streetcar.
I mean, what is the modus operandi? The gimmick?
Oh, you mean how do you tell Santa Claus what you want,
That roughly was the thought I was trying to convey, sis.
Oh. Well, first you get in line with the other kid.
Yeah?
And then when it's your turn to talk to him, he takes you up on his lap, and that's the part I don't like, because his beard always smells like mothballs.
Well, you got to overlook that, sis. They say the moths are terrible at the North Pole. Now, then what happens?
I don't know. I've never been there.
I don't mean at the North Pole. I mean with Santa Claus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then you tell him everything you want, and there's a lady standing there, and she writes it all down and asks you what your papa's name is and has you got a charge account.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That's Santa Claus's secretary.
Well, gee, mister, if she was my secretary, I bet you I'd fire her, I bet you.
You would? Why?
Sure. Well, last year, when I was talking to Santa Claus, you know what she said to him?
What'd she say?
She said, "Speak up, you big dope. How can I write this down if you keep mumbling in your beer?"
Oh.
Gee. Is there any way to talk to Santa Claus? I ask you.
Well, I should say not. I guess he didn't hear her say it, because if it's the same girl I saw there last year, she had some very well-filled stockings.
McGee.
And Well, I guess I haven't got any message for Chris just at the moment, sis. Thanks anyway.
Well, that's okay, mister. But I hope if you ever have a mustache, you won't smell like mothballs.
Oh, don't worry, sis. It won't. I got a kind of instinct for a personal appearance. I've always been kind of a snappy dresser and man about town.
What town?
Oh. Peoria, mostly.
Oh, my.
Why, sis, when I was just a young fella, I was a chic of Western Illinois.
Oh, dear.
With my bell-bottom pants and jazz bow tie. When I worked in the big mill there, I was quite the dude. Mildude McGee, I was known as. Mildude McGee, a magnificent mask of masculine muscle and manly manners, mesmerizing the maidens in the Midwest, and mentioned most every month in many of the men's magazines as the mirror and model for male millinery merchants, meticulous material manufacturers, and miscellaneous members of the metropolitan mob. Mighty and magnetic from November through May, but come and hear the King's men sing Roll So Gray.
Rosie O'Day, she is the prettiest thing. Under her window from miles away, the fellows all gather and sing. Rosaday, Rosaday, you're my Pilligadoochie, Shimmaroochie, Ballaralla, Boom-Daddy-Ay. Rosaday, Rosaday, you're my Pilligadoochie, Shimmaroochie, Ballaralla, Boom-Daddy-Ay. You are so darling, so lovely, that's what I mean when I say Rosaday, Rosaday, you're my Pilligadoochie, Shimmaroochie, Ballaralla, Boom-Daddy, Boom-Daddy-Ay. Oh, you're more of a lady than Rosie O'Grady. You're sweeter than Rose of Cali. Rose of the Rio for Washington Square never could even begin to compare with my wild Irish rose. The sweetest flower that grows. I'll never betray my Rosie O'Day. She's my Pilligadoochie, Shimmaroochie, Ballaralla, Boom-Daddy-Ay. Rosaday, Rosaday, you're my Pilligadoochie, Shimmaroochie, Ballaralla, Boom-Daddy-Ay. Calling my darling, I love you. That's what I mean when I say Rosie O'Day. You're my Pilligadoochie, Shimmaroochie, Ballaralla, Boom-Daddy, 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 Boom-Daddy-Ay. Rosie O'Day.
Rosie O'Gray.
Gee, are you still rubbing that horrible ointment on your mustache?
Yeah. They need a lot of encouragement when they're young like this. You know the old saying, Molly, great oaks from little acorns grow.
I didn't know you wanted a tree. I thought you just wanted a bush. And goodness knows you've been getting enough raspberries to start one.
Oh, well, don't let it get you down, old girl. Chin up, hip, hip, hip. Carry on and all of that.
Oh, stop talking like that.
I hope that's the guy from Haggerty's Snuggery Toggery with my velvet smoking jacket. Come in, Haggerty.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Uppington? Come in, dear.
Oh.
How do you do, Mr. McGee? I just stopped into Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't believe I've met this gentleman.
Hot dog, you hear that, Molly? She didn't know me with my mustache.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, you're Mr. McGee.
Sure, I'll stand right here.
Oh, I do hope you'll forgive me, my dear.
Oh, forgive you. Why, heavenly days, you're lucky if he doesn't kiss you, Abigail. To think that his mustache would fool anybody that much.
What did I tell you, Molly? I knew when
Mustache? What mustache? Is Mr. McGee growing a mustache?
Why, yes, Abigail. Isn't that why you didn't recognize him?
Oh, no, my dear. How ridiculous. No, I have a new lorgnette with bifocal lenses, and I simply can't see a thing.
Look, Uppy. Don't the bifocal part of them glasses magnify?
Why, yes, of course. Why?
Well, come here. Take a peep at my upper lip.
Very well.
There.
You see anything, Abigail?
Oh, my dear. He really should do something about his skin. Those big purple spots.
Raise your sights, Uppy. That's my necktie.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me, wasn't it?
Yes, it certainly was.
McGee. Well, what can we do for you, Abigail? Or is this a social call?
No, Mr. McGee. I am a committee of one from our ladies' club to inspect some of the city parks, and I thought you might care to go along. We have information from a very high source that parts of them are to be sold for parking lots.
Oh, well, come down off your high source and tell us about it, Uppy.
Now, please, Mr. McGee, this is not a subject for levity.
Well, what's so serious about it, Abigail? It's city property, and they can sell it for parking if they want to.
My dear, have you no thought for our little wild creatures?
You mean them parking lot attendants?
Oh. Mr. McGee, you're impossible. You and your little gray mustache.
My mustache ain't gray.
It will be by the time it's a mustache.
Ah, good old Uppy. You know, Molly, I got a kind of a sneaking fondness for the old Percheron.
Personally, I think she's a very nice woman.
Sure she is. Uppy's an old peach.
Do you really think so?
Sure I do. She's an old, wrinkled, dried-up peach that should have been pickled and canned years ago. Hand me the phone, Molly.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to call Haggerty's Snuggery Toggery and see why they don't send out my smoking jacket.
All right, here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Haggerty's Oh, is that you, Mert?
All right.
How's every little thing, Mert? It is, eh? What's that, Mert? Your sister? Got pinched, eh? For going too slow.
Heavenly days in her car, McGee.
No, a revolving door. What's that, Mert? Okay, I'll call him later. Goodbye.
Say, you know, one of these days you're going to get your number right off and won't have time for one of those things.
That'll be too bad.
I'd hate to take a poll on it. Oh, well, for goodness sakes, McGee, take your fingers out of your mouth.
I just feel inside of my upper lip, Molly. My mustache don't seem to be growing very fast. Just wondered if it got mixed up and was going in instead of out. You know, sometimes you try to pay...
Hey there, Johnny. How's the mustache?
Oh, hi, old-timer. Those lotions you gave me don't seem to have done much good.
Johnny, here, try this one.
Oh,
Is this another one of your grandmother's concoctions, Mr. Oldtimer?
Yep. Grandma swears by this one. Fact is, she swears so loud by this one, we have to send the kids up to bed.
That's pretty good, old-timer.
Yes, but that ain't the way I heard it. The way I heard it, one feller says, the other feller says, see where an aviator flew from Denver to New York in less than 12 hours. That's so, says the other feller. Must have been in a hurry. Have a wife in New York? No, says the first feller, in Denver. Well, try this stuff on your mustache, Johnny, and let me know what happens.
Okay, but I'm getting kind of discouraged. The more stuff I put on, the less it seems to grow.
Grow?
Why, yes, why not?
Oh, my goodness, and I've been giving him stuff to make it go away.
Hey. What you doing, Mom?
I'm throwing out all these fancy hair tonics and
No.
lotions. I've had enough of this now.
Oh, now, Mom.
I'm sorry, dearie. I can't stand this primping and posing any longer.
Oh.
You'll have to choose between me and your mustache.
You mean?
Yes. Now, which will it be?
Well, I'll take the mustache.
Oh.
Off.
Ah!
Do you know what I've been doing today? Well, I've been just an old inquiring reporter, asking women here and there a few questions about my favorite product, Johnson's Glow Coat, the easy-to-use floor polish. What do you like best about Glow Coat, I asked them. And do you know, I got a lot of different answers, but they all add up to the same thing. Glow Coat is an all-around product. It has so many good points that it pleases everybody. One woman said, I like the lasting luster Glow Coat gives my linoleum floor. Another talked about the uniform film that doesn't chip or wear off unevenly. Someone else said she liked its quick drying and ease of application. And, of course, everybody sang the praises of Glow Coat for the way it saves work. It needs no rubbing or buffing. Now, I knew all these good things about Glow Coat, but still it did me good to hear these women so enthusiastic. I'd like to pass that enthusiasm along to any of you who haven't tried Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat on your linoleum floors. And one final word. Remember, there's only one Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat.
I still don't know why you were trying to raise a mustache, dearie.
Oh, it's a kind of old family tradition, Molly. Ever see our family album? All my ancestors had beards down to here.
Oh, no razors?
No chins. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry. Inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
Is your car sitting out in front of your house now? If it is, take a quick look at it. Doesn't it need a cleaning and polishing job? Well, then just try Johnson's Car New, the sensational auto polish that does two jobs at once. Both cleans and polishes in one application. Car New is a wonderful labor saver. It's inexpensive, and it offers an easy way for you to take better care of your automobile. Remember the name, Johnson's Car New, spelled C-A-R-N-U, made by the makers of Johnson's Wax. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Our next broadcast is a science fiction drama series that was broadcast from April 24th, 1955 to January 9th, 1958 in various time slots on NBC. Known for its high production values and adapting stories from the leading American authors of the era, it has been described as one of the finest offerings of American radio drama and one of the best science fiction series in any form and medium. We present to you X-1 on HOJO Radio.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents X-1. Tonight's story, To the Future, by Ray Bradbury. Time is an interesting phenomenon. A ticking clock, the running sands of an hourglass. All these have captured the imagination of men. But time is more. It exists now, and then, and in the future. Suppose we are in the year 1955. Coexistent in time may be worlds we have never seen, the worlds of the past and of the future. The year 1955. It was a spring night in Mexico, fiesta time. The fireworks shot up into the clear, dark sky, and a papier-mâché bull ran about the plaza chasing boys and laughing men. Mr. and Mrs. William Travis stood on the edge of the yelling crowd, smiling.
Well, what is it? What do they say?
They're cheering for the bull. Here he comes. He's good, isn't he? Look how they rigged that fire breathing.
Oh, Bill, it's wonderful. I've never enjoyed myself so much in my life.
It's terrific. They caught the bull. Bravo, Toro!
Bill, it will go on, won't it? I mean, our trip.
Sue, don't worry. I've got enough traveler's checks for a lifetime. Relax.
No, but suppose they find us.
Forget it. They haven't a chance.
But suppose they do. Suppose they take us back.
They'll never find us. Oh, relax. Enjoy yourself.
If it only lasts.
Come on. Let's get out of the crowd, huh? You need a drink.
Let's try something different this time. I want to try every drink there is in the world.
Don't worry. There's no rush. We've got plenty of time now. In here. There's a table over there. Come on.
Bill.
What's the matter?
Don't look right away.
Huh?
Over your left shoulder, right by the end of the bar. That man.
What is it?
I saw him this morning in the plaza.
Take it easy. The town's full of tourists.
He was at Juarez and at Tasco. Bill, I'm afraid.
Don't stare at him. Come on.
I know it's the same man. He was wearing the same white suit.
Sit down, Sue. Come on, dear. Smile. Act natural.
Bill, he's been following us. He's a searcher. I know he is.
Quiet. Here, boy.
Si, senor.
Benedictine and brandy, too.
Si, senor.
He's been watching us, Bill.
Pull yourself together, Susan.
They can't take us back.
Will you quit worrying? The chances are 1 in 1,000 that they found us. It's probably just a coincidence.
I want to lie down. I think I'm going to be sick.
Susan, hang on, will you? If he is looking for us, we can't run out. It'd attract
He
attention.
must have slipped up when we checked out in New York.
What's he doing now?
Stopped our waiter. He's asking him something.
Well, may just want a drink.
Bill, I can't stand it. I've got to go upstairs and lie down.
All right. As soon as we finish our drinks. What's he doing now?
He's nodding at me. As if he knows me. He's smiling. Bill, he's coming over here.
Watch yourself. We've got to go right on in front of him, so if he is what we think he is, he won't suspect.
I can't.
We've got to. Come on.
So I said to David, why, that's absolutely ridiculous. What do you...
Mr. Christian, you did not pull up your pants leg when you sat down.
What? I'm afraid you've got the wrong person. My name isn't Chrysler.
Kristen.
Oh. I'm William Travis. I don't see what my pants leg has to do with it.
Mind if I sit down? See, everyone nowadays pulls up his pants leg when he sits down. Like this. See, it keeps the trouser from bagging at the knees. But, of course, if you're not used to this style of clothing...
Now, see here, we don't know you.
You don't? I'm sorry. I thought I knew you.
This is our table, if you don't mind.
You see, I'm looking for two friends of mine. A man and his wife. Very much like you. The man is an atomic scientist. The wife, a bacteriologist. Very important people. They work on government business.
What are you talking about?
And when I find my friends, I'm going to take them home with me.
Look here, Mr.
Sims. That will do for now.
Well, look, I understand you thought you knew us, but you see you're mistaken. If you'll excuse us, my wife and I were just going up to our room. We have to make an early start in the morning.
Oh, going for a trip? Acapulco, perhaps? Oh, a lovely spot.
Never mind where we're going.
Yes, of course. You don't like crowds, tourists. Probably like to get off the beaten path. You know, I have a vacation folder here that might interest you.
Please, Bill, let's go.
It's put out by an outfit that calls itself Travel in Time, Incorporated.
Travel in time?
Yes. They've come up with a rather intriguing idea. Here. Travel in Time, Incorporated can costume you, put you in the crowd at any place and time in history. We guarantee to teach you any language you need to move freely in any year without risk of detection. This summer, why not escape from the worries of our modern world? Take your vacation in time.
That's impossible, of course.
But think what it would mean. A chance to escape all the tensions of an unpleasant life, war, insecurity, fear. Suppose you were a scientist working on a dangerous bomb project. Or you, Mrs. Travis. Suppose you were a bacteriologist working on disease cultures, and you had a chance to escape all that, to take a vacation 200 years in the past. It would be wonderful, wouldn't it? To escape to a more peaceful world. A trip back to 1955.
1955? But you said a vacation in the past.
So I did. But you see, 1955 is the past. If you come from the year 2155.
2155?
Yes. Terrible times, most unpleasant. A war raging, an atomic, bacteriological war. Terrible times, with none of the little comforts we enjoy today. Like this fine Havana cigar.
Well, I want to go upstairs. I want to lie down.
If you were living then, think of how wonderful it would be to take a vacation in time. Back to now. Suppose a young couple like yourselves took a trip to 1955 and didn't want to come back. Do you know what would happen? The government sends a searcher back to look for them.
This is all fantastic
The
nonsense.
searcher finds them and brings them back. Back to that miserable, insane, stark, pleasureless world of 2155. A pity, isn't it?
Look here, Sims.
Well, do you think I shall find my two friends, Mr. Travis?
Bill, please take me upstairs. I don't feel well.
Oh, is the lady feeling a bit ill? How unfortunate.
Here are the drinks, senor.
Well, shall we drink a toast? To 2155. To the future.
Inside. Inside, quick.
What are you doing?
Shoving a chair under the doorknob.
He knows. He's been following us. He's a searcher.
Look, keep quiet, Sue. I want to think.
You're going to take us back.
It isn't over yet. I've got a headache.
I'll get you an aspirin. What will they do to us?
I don't know. Something slipped. Something must have slipped.
But we were so careful.
The searchers are trained to watch for detail. Things like not pulling up my trousers. Started him thinking. There's a man who isn't used to ancient clothes. I could kill myself for giving it away.
No, it was my walk with these high heels. Here.
Thanks. The nerve of that Sim sitting there looking us up and down like animals, smoking those stinking cigarettes.
I know, that's how I first noticed him at Tasco. He had 4 bottles of liqueurs and a pile of chocolates.
Yes, he still hasn't gotten over that first greedy hunger. We've got to look out for that. It's the sure sign of somebody from the future. Trying to make up for a lifetime of shortages by stuffing yourself sick. Remember our first night?
Bill, I can't stand it. We've got to get out of here.
What are you doing?
Packing. Get the suitcases out.
It's no use.
What do you mean? We can get to Acapulco by morning.
Don't you think he's watching us?
We could get away.
No. We've got to sit tight. Maybe he isn't sure of us yet. Maybe we can still figure out some way to escape. Come on now. We'll need our strength. We'd better try to get some sleep.
No, I won't go back. Security bullet. The bomb. It's falling and killing.
Sue, what's the matter?
No.
Sue, wake up, Sue.
Bill, where are we?
It's all right. Calm down, honey. We're still in 1955. It's all right.
Oh.
You must have had a nightmare.
Oh, Bill, it was awful. We were back there, 2155. Oh, Bill, we won't go back there, will we ever?
Go back to sleep, honey. It's all right. We're in Mexico, 1955, and we're going to stay here. Sue, I've been lying awake here thinking. He's still testing us. He's not absolutely certain. He's got all the time in the world. He can stay here as long as he likes. And then bring us back to the future 60 seconds after we left it.
They can't make a scene, can they? They don't dare come out in the open.
No. It might change the future. They're afraid of that.
Bill, if we could only tell somebody, ask for
You
help.
know we can't. That's why we had to submit to the psychological block treatment before they okayed our vacation. We couldn't tell if we tried. The block's too strong.
Maybe we can break it, Bill.
What's the use, darling? Who'd believe a crazy story like ours? Who'd believe we come from 2155? No, we can't tell. And they'll have to get us a loan to put us in the time machine to send us back.
Then that's it, Bill. We'll never be alone. It's still Fiesta tomorrow. It'll be easy to stay in the crowd.
Yes, that's the only chance. We can't let him get us alone. He won't get us back to that war and that insane world.
Bill.
Well, could be the room clerk.
At 3 in the morning?
I'd better answer.
Don't, Bill, don't.
I've got to. Hello? Hello?
Mr. Travis?
What's the idea? It's 3 in the morning.
Yes. I just wanted to remind you, the rabbits may hide in the forest, but a fox can always find them.
What was it, Bill? Bill.
Never mind. Come on. Let's get some sleep while we can.
Buenos dias, señor y señora.
Good morning, Senor Gomez.
I trust you are spending pleasant days in my hotel. Fiesta time is the best.
Yes, it's been lovely.
Your special table is all ready for breakfast.
Hey, we're in blazers the hotel. You, Buster, where's the hotel in this godforsaken sinkhole of a one-horse town? All the blighted deserts of the whole stinking country. I had to pick them up.
Oh, great excitement. Very great.
What is it?
They come with 4 trucks and innumerable automobiles. A motion picture company from Hollywood.
Oh, what are they doing down here?
They make the pictures of our fiesta for the backgrounds. That fat man, the one with the most colorful shirt, he is the chief.
Manager!
Director.
Manager! Where's the manager of this Adobe flea bag?
Coming, senor. You will excuse me, senor. I hope the table is satisfactory. Coming, senor.
This is a break, Sue. That movie company will draw crowds, and that helps us.
When can we leave, Bill?
Oh, not today. He'd be...
Okay, kids, end of the line. Ciao. Get it up, Maxwell, and lay off the pepper. I got an ulcer.
Bill, there's Sims across the dining room.
Can't do anything now, not with these actors coming in.
Gloria, you sit next to Papa. No. Max, make sure nobody monkeys with the trucks and the gear.
Right, Chief. Do we have to eat at this crummy joint, Joe?
Cheer up, sweetie. Your mere presence makes this chasins and truck roll into one.
No, not this early in the morning, Joe. I couldn't stand it.
Okay. Anything you want, laddies. It's on the dear old expense account.
They look happy, don't they?
There's an idea. Maybe I could hire two of them. I could say it was a joke.
Why?
We could dress them in our clothes, have them drive off in our car sometime when Sims couldn't see their faces.
Where would that get us?
With him off on their trail, we might make it to Mexico City. It'd take years to find us there.
Wait, that movie man's coming over.
Excuse me, you folks are Americans, aren't you?
That's right.
Boy, am I glad to see you. I'm so sick of hearing Spanish, I could kiss you. Hey, come on over and eat with us, huh?
Well, I don't think we should intrude.
Oh, come on. Misery loves company. I'm Misery, and that's the company. We're from Hollywood.
So I understand.
Yeah. Boy, would I like to be there. I'm Joe Melton. I'm the director.
I'm William Travis. This is my wife, Susan.
Mutual. Come on over, kids. Join the party. Cheer us up. Only no tamales. I burned out 3 kidneys on tamales since I came over the border. Boy, am I funny, huh?
Wonderful.
Well, come on over. Hey, kiddies, I got new blood. Brother Yanks.
Just a moment, Mr. Travis. I thought you might be breakfasting with me, alone.
Sorry.
I got him first, Mac. You want to join us?
No, I've already ordered. Mr. Travis, I think you'd better talk with me.
Say,
now.
Is this guy giving you trouble?
No, it's all right.
Then I'll say the word and I'll have Max pitch him out in his ear.
No, it's all right. We'll be right over, Mr. Melton.
Bill.
We'll talk to Mr. Sims. Mr. Melton, you sort of keep an eye on us, huh? After all, you found us first.
Yeah, sure. Well, come on over soon, kids.
Sit down, Mr. Travis. I hope you slept well.
Did you?
Well, I'm not used to spring mattresses, but there are compensations. I stayed up half the night trying new cigarettes and foods. A whole new spectrum of sensation, these ancient vices. We miss something in our world, don't we? And when we get back here, we try to cram it all in a few short days.
We don't know what you're talking about.
Still acting, eh? But it's no use. You can't stay in crowds all the time. I'll get you alone soon enough. I'm immensely patient. However, let's come to the point. You know we can't let you get away with this escape. Other people in the year 2155 might get the same idea and do the same thing. And we need people.
To fight your wars?
Bill.
It's all right, Susan. We can talk on his terms now. He's got us. We can't escape.
Oh, at last. Really, you've been incredibly romantic, running away from your responsibilities.
Running away from horror.
Oh, nonsense. Only a war.
Only? With half the world dead and the other half dying?
Yes, but we can't have you escaping here while we drop off a cliff. Dying people love to know that others died with them.
Hey, kids, break it up. We're waiting on you.
The longer you keep me waiting, the harder it will go on you.
What do you mean?
We need you on that bomb project. Return now, and no torture.
Torture?
Yes. You see, later we'll force you to work, and after you finish the bomb, we'll try a number of complicated new devices on you.
Yeah.
As you say, you can't escape. We have all the time in the world. Here.
Sims, I'll make a deal with you. I'll come back now. If my wife stays here, alive, safe, away from that war.
No, Bill,
Keep
no.
quiet, Sue. Well, Sims, you need me for that bomb. You can duplicate her work.
It exceeds my authority, but, all right. Meet me in the plaza in 10 minutes.
All right. I'll pick you up in the car.
Good. We'll drive out into the country to some deserted spot, and I'll have the time travel machine pick us up.
Bill, I won't let you.
Don't argue, dear. It's settled. Sims, there's one thing.
Yes?
Last night, instead of calling, you could have broken into our room and got us. Why didn't you?
Shall we say that I was enjoying myself? Take this new fine cigar, for example. Wonderful. Wonderful. Do you know that I have 12 boxes up in my room? And liqueurs, creme de menthe, Benedictine, creme de coca, and so many others. And the wine. Oh, I've got the closets full of them. And I shall so hate to leave it all. Well, I'll meet you in the plaza in 10 minutes. Your wife may stay here as long as she wishes.
All right, Sims, it's a deal.
Don't try anything now, Travis.
I know when I'm beat. We just want a few minutes to say goodbye.
I shall be seeing you then.
Bill, I won't let you do it. I won't let you.
Please,
I'm going to
Susan.
tell the truth. I'm going to get help.
You can't. The psychological
We've
block
got to
is-
try. It's our last chance.
Hey, aren't you two going to join us? I
Mr.
thought...
Melton, I've got something to tell you, and you've got to believe me. I've got to try.
Now, go ahead, kid. Spill it.
You've got to understand. You see, we really... Bill.
Mm-hmm.
My head.
Huh?
I can't think. My head.
Say, you need a bromo, honey.
Can't work, Sue. The block's too strong. We better get the car.
Bill. Bill, please.
Someone's crying.
Somebody, please.
Breakfast, no time for people to cry. Now, what in the world could a good-looking kid like you find to cry about?
Bill, I won't let you do it.
Don't make it hard, Susan.
Let me go back with you. We'll get through some way.
You think I'd let you go back to that war? Sue, please stop. We haven't got much
It
time.
was so wonderful here, Bill.
There he is, smoking those Turkish cigarettes, waiting for us.
There must be some way we can both stay here.
Maybe there is.
Bill, what are you going to do?
Hang on, Sue, and duck when I tell
No,
you.
Bill, you're heading right for him.
He's not going to get either of us now. Down, Sue, down!
Bill.
It's all right, darling, it's all right.
Oh.
It's all over. Darling, this is the mayor.
Senora, your husband has been officially cleared in this most unfortunate affair. It is obvious this senor Sims died of an unavoidable accident.
An accident? Oh, yes, of course.
Adios, senor, senora.
Will they want to see you again?
No. No, I'm clear.
Oh.
I lost control of the car. That's the way it stands. Sue, I hated to kill him. I've never wanted to do anything like that in my life.
Where shall we go now? Mexico City?
The car's in the repair shop. Won't be ready till 4. And we'll get out.
Hey there, Travis. Wait up.
Oh, it's that movie man, Bill. He was very good to me when they had you in there.
Hey, I heard what happened. They sprung you, huh? Great.
Yes, it was an accident.
Well, lucky you didn't get hurt yourselves. Everything okay now?
Yes, I think so.
It's fine. But you both look a little rocky. Say, you want to get your mind off your troubles. We're through for the day. Clouds fouled up our shooting schedule. We're going to put a header on it up at the hotel. Gloria's cracking the ice now.
Well, maybe we will join you. But first I've got to check up on the car.
Well, don't miss the party, kiddies. See you upstairs.
Bill, I don't think...
Relax, honey. We've got the break now. Sims is dead. Before they can put another searcher on our trail, we'll have time to make a clean getaway.
How about the car?
We won't be ready till 4. We've got a couple of hours to kill.
I'm so tired.
What you need is a little excitement. We rate a celebration, honey.
Well, I guess it would be nice to unwind.
Sure. We'll go up to Melton's room, have a couple of drinks, a few laughs. Don't worry, honey. It's all over. We can relax.
Well, Kitty.
Well, we thought we'd join you, Mr. Melton.
Great. Call me Joe. Gloria, yanking of the cork, we got company.
Way ahead of you. Here you are, kid.
You kids ready to drink? Yeah, that was a pretty messy business, but it's all over now, huh?
Yes, it's all over.
Time to unlax. Grab a glass, honey.
Thank you.
Hey, quiet, everybody. Quiet. How about a toast to our guests?
Well, sure.
How about it, huh? Okay. All right. To a very beautiful lady. Lovely enough for the movies.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm not kidding. That's why I came over to you in the first place. I might even give you a test. Oh, I mean it, honey. You're pretty nice. I could make you a movie star.
And take me to Hollywood?
At least it'd get us out of Mexico.
You're not serious.
Well, sure I am. Gloria, how about a refill?
Yeah, coming up.
That sounds wonderful, doesn't it, Bill?
Los Angeles is a pretty crowded city, isn't
Crowded? Hey, wait till you see the sunset buzz.
Well, you don't really think I could be an actress, do you?
Hmm.
You don't have to cheer me up anymore. I'm feeling wonderful
No,
now.
no, I'm serious.
it? Really? Well, what kind of a film do you think my wife would be good for?
Well, I want to do a suspense story. Sort of a war story, you know. Gloria, pour Mr. Travis another glass. A story about a man and a wife. You live in a little house. I'm just ad-libbing this, you understand?
Sure. Go on.
There's a war on, see? A terrible war, you see. And they live in the year, 2155.
Bill.
Now, here's the gimmick. They escape into the past, and they kill a man who follows them to bring them back. Gloria, honeypot, get Mr. Travis another glass. He dropped his. Well, sir, this couple takes refuge with a group of movie people. Safety in numbers, they figure.
Bill.
But the story goes on. This couple is terribly important for a new bomb. Let's call it the leprosy bomb. So the searchers figure out a way that they can get them alone in a hotel room. Shove a chair under the door now, Max.
Yes, sir.
You see, the searchers may work alone, or in groups of 8, so that if one of them's killed, the rest carry on. Don't you think that'd make a wonderful picture, huh, Susan? Don't you, Bill?
Get up when you get us, Milton. Stand still.
Look out! Put that gun down, Travis.
Mr. Travis. Mr. Travis.
Who is it?
The manager. Your car is all ready. Shall I...
Grab him!
Let go of me. Let go!
Let's not make things worse, Mr. Travis.
Let me in. What were those shots? Let me in.
The manager, he heard the shots. Let's get going.
Let go of me.
Let me in there. Let me in.
He'll break down the door in a minute. Max, get ready to travel.
Get a chair.
Take a good look, Mr. Travis. Take a good look at 1955. You won't be seeing it anymore.
Bill!
Throw the switch!
All right. Break it down.
Who shot that? Where are they?
I was at the door. I heard them inside.
They're gone. The windows. No, the iron bars are undisturbed. What happened to them? They just disappeared, all of them.
Senor, I think you had better send for the priest and the holy water.
Later. They just disappeared.
Look in the closet. Bottles. Hundreds of bottles. And boxes of 20 peso pure Havana filled with cigars. These crazy Americanos. Why would anyone leave all this behind?
Juan, never question providence. Bien. There is enough here to last us both for a month. I think we can look forward to a most happy future.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you To the Future by Ray Bradbury. It was adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Terry Keane, Alexander Scorby, Mercer McLeod, Joe DeSantis, Guy Sorrell, Alan Collins, and Stan Early. This is Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Keep it tuned right here to HOJO Radio for more classic old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, a Ray Bradbury story, Marionettes Incorporated. By the year 1990, we should see many amazing technological advances. And yet, in many ways, life will be very much the same. A husband will stop off at a bar on his way home and perhaps unburden himself a little to a friendly bartender.
Well, that's good. Almost feel as if I could go home and face Nettie now.
Wife trouble, Mr. Smith?
Wife trouble, Sam. If only she'd relax a little bit. Look, you see this bruise on my lip? She kisses me. For an hour every night when I come home.
Can you do anything for it?
Well, I try, Sam. You can't figure them out. Well, I guess I'll go home and feed myself to the lioness. I tell you, Sam, when Nettie gets finished demonstrating how much she's missed me, I feel like a man who's been stuffed into an electronic washing machine with the dial set at rinse dry. How much do I owe you?
Well, if it isn't Henry Smith.
Huh? Brayling! Well, as I live and breathe. Walter Brayling. What are you doing here?
Having the night out.
Say, does Gloria know about this?
Things have changed, Henry.
I thought she kept you chained to the bedpost most of the time.
Not anymore, Henry, not anymore.
So you aren't divorced, are you?
Oh, no. Gloria's home.
What did you do, put sleeping powder in her coffee?
Oh, goodness, no. That would be highly unethical.
Well, now, look, I can't believe you just walked out on her.
10 years of marriage, Henry, and I never had a night to myself. But it will be different from now on. By the way, what time is it?
10 o'clock.
Well, I guess I'd better be going.
Scared?
Don't want to crowd my luck.
Oh.
Although, really, there's nothing to worry about.
Well, I'd sure like to know how you do it, Walter.
Would you really?
Yes, I would.
All right, Henry, since you've always been a friend of mine, I'll let you in on it. Come on, my car's outside. I'll drive you home and let you see how it's done.
Well, now, that's nice of you, Walter.
Oh, no, not at all. We fellas have to stick together. I don't suppose you know how Gloria and I came to be married in the first place.
No, I don't.
Well, one evening, she threatened to tear off her clothing and call the police unless I married her.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a bit extreme, isn't it?
Gloria's a nervous girl.
Oh. I bet you've had a pretty wretched time of it, huh?
Yeah. Didn't take long for me to become the laughing stock of the neighborhood. Henpeck Brayling, they used to call me, I know that. But things are changing now. See this?
What's this?
A single ticket to Rio on the morning rocket. I have hotel reservations there for a month. A whole month, Henry, to have a fling.
Well, won't Gloria make trouble over there?
Well, that's the amazing part of it, Henry. She won't even know that I'm gone.
Huh?
And I'll be back in a month and no one the wiser. You don't believe it, do you?
Well, frankly, no. Just how are you going to swing it, Walter?
That's the secret, Henry. I tell you, it is the most wonderful thing ever invented. Worth every cent I paid for it.
Well, what is it?
I'm going to show you. Now, here's my house. You notice the lights are all out?
Uh-huh.
Shh. Now, we'll wait here on the front porch.
Say, Walter, you haven't gone off your rocker, have you?
Shh. Let me see. I meow twice. That's it. Meow. Meow. Now watch the window in my bedroom.
It looks as if somebody's... Hey! There's a man up there. He's looking out.
Good. He sees me. Now he'll be down directly.
Oh, now look, isn't this a bit embarrassing for you, Walter?
No, not at all. You'll find out. Here he comes. Hello, B2.
Good evening, Mr. Brayling. Either I'm going out of my mind or there are two of you. You never told me you had a twin brother.
I don't.
If this fellow were in pajamas, I couldn't tell you apart.
Well, that's the secret, Henry. Everything go all right, B2?
Just fine, Mr. Brayling.
I suppose my wife was in her usual good form this evening?
Well, as a matter of fact, we spent the evening playing gin.
No screaming, shouting, accusations?
No, sir. No, it was a very quiet evening.
Well, but this is even better than I thought.
Marionettes Incorporated aims to satisfy, sir.
Did he say Marionettes Incorporated?
That's right, Henry. Then now look him over. Isn't he excellently fashioned? You wouldn't dream he was a robot, a marionette.
No, I don't believe it.
Well, it's against the law, of course, to duplicate a human like this, but it's well worth the opportunity.
I still don't believe it. You can't tell him from a human.
Well, only one way. Put your ear next to his chest.
Huh?
That's it. Now listen.
It's machinery. Walter, old man, how long has this been going on?
Well, I've had him a month. I keep him in the cellar in my toolbox. And tonight I told Gloria that I'd like to be excused for 5 minutes to run down to the cigar store.
Huh?
She agreed. I went down the cellar, took out Brayling, too, and sent him back upstairs to sit with my wife till I got home.
That's miraculous. Of course, Walter, it doesn't seem quite ethical somehow.
Oh, nonsense. Highly ethical. I've been home all evening. I shall be home with her for the next month. In the meantime, another gentleman named Walter Brayling will be in Rio having the time of his life.
Well, can he walk around without fuel for a month?
He refuels himself.
Oh.
He's built to do everything. Eat, drink, sleep. You'll take good care of my wife, won't you, B2?
Well, your wife is rather nice. I've grown quite fond of her.
There, you see?
Yeah, Walter, old man, how long has this Marionettes Incorporated outfit been in business?
Secretly for 2 years now. Why?
Well, I wonder, you suppose there's a possibility that I might get in touch with him?
You? But your Nettie is madly in love with you.
Well, I know that, but even so, just a little respite, a night or two once a month, huh?
But she loves you dearly.
Yeah. So much she can't bear me to leave her for half an hour. You know that lately she's taken to calling me up at work 10 or 12 times a day, talking baby talk?
Your Nettie?
My Nettie. So now what do you say, old man, As a favor to an old buddy, huh? A fellow lodge member?
Well, I could put you in touch with the man who makes them. Of course, you'd be pledged to secrecy once you learned where he's located.
Oh, well, naturally.
Very well, then. Here's his card.
Marionettes Incorporated. W. Zeig, proprietor and owner. New humanoid plastic 1990 models guaranteed against wear. Our motto, no strings attached. Address, the Jumble Shop, 43 South Wesley Drive.
Yeah. Mr. Zeig will take care of you. He's a charming fellow. Real craftsman.
See, that's wonderful, Walt. I'll see him first thing tomorrow. Well, I better be getting home now. Nettie is probably splitting a gasket.
Well, see you around, old man, after I get back from Rio. While I'm gone, you might drop around regularly, just as you always have. Treat Brayling, too, here, as if he were me. Otherwise, Gloria might be suspicious.
Yes, fine, I'll do that. Oh, before I go, these marionettes, they're safe, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Tell him, B2.
Oh, we're guaranteed.
Well, that's fine. Well, good night, Walter. Good night, B2.
Good night, Mr. Smith.
Good night, Henry. Well, I'm glad someone else will have a chance at a little happiness and freedom. All right, Brayling, too. It's back into the cellar box for you. Come on, down the steps. That's it.
It's very damp down here, Mr. Brayling.
Bad plumbing. Here we are.
Brayling.
Yeah?
Before you put me back into the toolbox, could we have a word?
Certainly, old man.
Now, this toolbox.
Yes, what about it?
Well, I don't like it, Mr. Brayling.
Why not?
Well, it's cramped.
Oh. Well, I'll try to fix up something more comfortable when I get back from Rio. All right, now, before Gloria gets worried. Back into the...
Marionettes are made to move, not keep still. Now, how would you like to lie in a stuffy old box most of the time?
Well, I didn't realize you fellas were that sensitive.
Well, you wouldn't like it at all. I keep running. There's no way to shut me off. Now, I have my feelings, you know.
Well, a day after tomorrow, I'll be off to Rio, and you won't have to stay in the box for a whole month. You can move upstairs.
But when you come back from Rio, I'll go back into the box.
Mr. Zeig didn't tell me at Marionettes Incorporated that it was possible to get a difficult specimen.
There's a lot he doesn't know about us.
Look here, B2. This has gone far enough.
I'll never get to Rio.
Come on now, into the box.
And another thing.
Well?
Your wife.
Yes, what about my wife?
I've grown quite fond of her.
I'm glad that you enjoy your employment. You'll have the whole month.
I'm afraid you don't quite understand, Brayling. I've fallen in love with her.
Yes, well, all right. You what?
Well, you see, you just don't appreciate it. Maybe if you hadn't acted so meek and apologetic about everything, well, she'd have a little more respect for you as a man.
You aren't supposed to behave like this, you know.
I think I could be very happy if I were married to Gloria.
Aren't you forgetting that you are nothing but a big, overgrown puppet?
Now, careful, Brayling. I'm sensitive.
I'm sorry. Look, you wouldn't mind waiting here a moment, would you? I have to go upstairs and make a phone call.
To whom?
Nobody important. I have to call Henry Smith about something.
You're lying. Now, you're going to call Marionettes Incorporated and tell Mr. Zeig to come and get me.
No, really, I'm not. I was... B2, stay away.
Now, stand where you are, Brayling.
No, B2, take your hand off my
arm.
No,
Brayling.
What are you going to do?
Nothing much. I'm just going to put you in a toolbox, lock it, and lose the key. Then I'll buy another ticket to Rio, and Gloria and I can have a wonderful vacation.
You're insane.
Oh, am I?
Now, wait a minute. Hold on, B2. Don't be rash. Now, let's talk this over.
Goodbye, Brayling.
Now, B2, stop it. Don't. Let go.
Into the box, Brayling. There.
Let me out. Let me out.
Walter!
Yes, Gloria?
Well, what in the world are you doing down there at this time of night?
Well, nothing, lover. The pipes were knocking, and I'm just making sure the boiler hasn't exploded. Now, you go to bed, and I'll be up soon.
Hurry, won't you? We had such a nice evening. I'm lonesome for you.
You won't ever be lonesome again, darling. Never again.
Good morning, Nettie.
Good morning, darling. How are you? Have a nice time last night? I missed you so.
Mm-hmm. Is breakfast ready?
Well, aren't you going to kiss me good morning?
Huh? Oh, yes, I suppose so.
Mm. You're so wonderful, Henry. I guess I'm the luckiest person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's your coffee. How would you like your eggs?
Oh, any way at all.
But I want to please you.
Look, skip the eggs this morning.
But you have to eat to keep well, darling.
I'm very healthy. I have an early business appointment this morning.
Oh?
Yes, it's a friend of Walter Brayling's. I met Walter last night.
Oh?
Yes. So, I'd better be off. Now, Nettie, don't look as if I were on my way to Rio or something.
Well, it's just that I miss you so. I want to be with you all the time.
Oh, dear, do I have to go through this every morning? I'll be back at supper. Now, there's no need to cry now, is there?
No, darling. You aren't displeased with me, are you? I try so hard to do everything just as I think you'll like it.
I know. I'm not displeased. Now, goodbye, dear.
Henry.
Yes?
You forgot to kiss me goodbye.
No strings attached, no strings attached. A very nice puppet with no strings attached. Let's see now. Jumble Shop, 43 South Wesley. Well, that should be about... here it is.
Yes?
Mr. Zeig?
Yes?
Walter Brayling recommended me.
Enter.
Thank you.
Your name?
Henry Smith, 55 Evergreen Place.
And what can we do for you, Mr. Smith?
Well, Mr. Brayling showed me his marionette last night. I was intrigued with the idea. Not that my wife is anything like that female meat grinder he's married to, you understand, but Well, I'm a man who enjoys an occasional evening with the boys, you know, without complications.
Naturally.
Yes, so I thought...
that I could duplicate you?
Exactly.
Oh, I think it might be arranged.
Oh, yes, how much?
$9,000. I have an inferior model at 75.
No. If I go through with this, nothing is too good for Nettie. Nettie's my wife. We've been putting money aside to buy a summer home in Westport, but...
sometimes we must choose.
Yes. Well, perhaps I could just slip out $9,000. It's a joint account. How soon could I have it?
Oh, I could construct a mannequin in about 2 months' time.
Good.
Shall I consider the order placed?
At once.
Of course, you'll have to report here for a body mold, color index of your hair, lips, skin, etc. And I'll have to do a complete electro-emotional calibration.
Now, you guarantee that these models are foolproof?
As foolproof as I can make them, Mr. Smith. And I've had years of training.
And there's no chance of detection?
None whatever. I've never had a complaint.
Very well, Mr. Zeig. I'll get the money from the bank and send it to you.
I'm sure you won't be sorry, Mr. Smith. You'll be just as satisfied as Walter Brayling.
Tell her.
Yes, Mr. Smith?
I'd like to cash this draft in my joint account, please.
Yes, sir. $9,000, sir?
That's right.
Oh, I'm afraid that's impossible, Mr. Smith.
Impossible? My wife and I have a good $15,000 in our account.
You're mistaken, Mr. Smith.
Well, I know.
Here's your card, sir. You see, Mrs. Smith withdrew $10,000 recently.
$10,000? Without even telling me?
I remember it distinctly, Mr. Smith. She said it was for a surprise for you.
Oh, good Lord, she's bought that house in Connecticut. My birthday is next week. Oh, no. I've got to borrow it somewhere. I've already contracted...
Yes, sir. Quite a surprise for you. Mr. Smith?
Yes? Oh, hello, Henry.
Hello, Gloria. Is Walter home? I'd like to speak to him.
He should be back soon. Will you wait?
Yes, I'd better.
Oh, say, Henry, as long as you're here, maybe you can help me with something.
What?
I went downstairs to get an old suitcase a little while ago, and I heard the strangest noises near that old tool chest of Walter's. He mentioned that the boiler was acting up, and, well, I'm afraid to go down there again. I wonder if you'd take a look.
What kind of noises?
Like a thumping sound.
Well, maybe I'd better go down, Gloria. You stay up here.
Should I call a plumber, do you think?
No. I'll take care of it.
Well, it's right down those stairs.
All right, I'll have a look. Hello? Hello in there.
Let me out! Let me out!
Shh, just a minute. Keep quiet, for goodness sake.
Let me out!
I'll have to smash the lock. Now, what?
Henry, thank God you've come.
What's the meat?
I've been in there all night. I thought I'd suffocate. He tried to kill me. He tried to murder me.
Who? Which one are you?
No, don't be an idiot. I'm Walter.
Well, what happened?
B2, the marionette. He stuffed me in a toolbox and left me to suffocate.
What?
Fortunately, I found an old file in there, managed to get an air hole through the wood.
Good Lord. He's taking Gloria with him to Rio.
Have they left yet?
No, he's gone downtown for the tickets.
Good. We may have time.
For what?
To get down to Marionettes Incorporated and tell Mr. Zeig to stop him.
You're in no condition.
So don't worry about me. We can't waste any time. Now, come on.
Yes, but what about Gloria?
I'll sneak out. Tell her that you fixed the plumbing. Tell her anything. I'll meet you outside.
All right.
What a fool I've been.
Oh, what a fool I almost was. I went down and ordered one of those things today.
Gloria, love.
Yes, darling. Did you get the tickets to Rio?
Right here in my wallet. A honeymoon for two under the Pampas moon.
Oh, Walter, it's so nice to have you like this.
Oh, you like the change?
I don't know what did it, but whatever it is, I'm in favor of it. I hope it's permanent.
Well, I intend to see that it is. By the way, darling, do you happen to remember where that old pistol of mine is?
Pistol?
Yeah, I just thought, since we're going to be traveling in strange countries, well, it wouldn't hurt to bring it along.
Well, I think it's here in the sideboard. There. You know how frightened I am of these things.
Well, I'll be very careful of it. Now, in fact, I think I'll go down to the basement and practice. Not really shooting it, of course, just to make sure it's in good working order.
Well, now, do be careful, darling.
Oh, I will. If you should hear a shot, now, don't be frightened. I may fire it into a block of wood just to test it. Perhaps I'll fire it into that old tool chest of mine. That should absorb it.
Oh, speaking of that tool chest...
What about it?
It reminds me that Henry Smith was here.
Oh?
Yes, I heard some noises downstairs, and he went to fix the plumbing.
Is he still down there?
No, he left. I really don't understand it. He seemed so anxious to see you before he went down to the cellar. And then he just left.
Did he stop the noises?
Well, he must have. I don't hear them.
Yeah, I see.
What is it, dear?
Well, I have to go out for a while, darling.
But, Walter, we have to pack if we're leaving.
Well, I'll be back soon. There's something very important I have to attend to.
What is it?
Well, just some personal business with Henry Smith. Now, please excuse me, darling. And now, don't worry. When I get back, everything will be fixed once and for all. We can enjoy the rest of our lives just as though the old Walter Brayling never existed.
Oh, Mr. Brayling and Mr. Smith. Come in, gentlemen, come in. What brings you?
Mr. Zeig, you told me your marionettes were foolproof.
They are. My personal guarantee goes with
We
each
know all
one.
about your personal guarantee. Except that Mr. Brayling's dummy knocked him out, stuffed him in a toolbox to suffocate, and is making plans to run away with his wife.
Oh, dear.
Yes, well, Mr. Zeig.
Well, I really don't know what to say, gentlemen.
What Mr. Brayling and myself would like to know, Mr. Zeig, is exactly what are you planning to do to stop this overambitious robot?
Well, of course, we shall have to recover B2 first, and then I'll simply dismantle him
Yes,
and...
well, he doesn't seem to want to be dismantled, Mr. Zeig. In fact, I think that you'll have trouble catching him.
Maybe I can save you the trouble, gentlemen.
Yeah, B2.
Look out, he's got a gun.
I thought I'd find you here when I discovered the tool chest empty.
Now, you look, B2. Whatever you're planning, you won't get away with it.
Oh, I think I will.
Mr. Zeig, can't you do something?
I'm afraid I can't think of anything.
I'll save you the trouble because I'm going to kill the three of you.
No, you won't get away with it.
No, you forget that Gloria and I will be on a plane to Rio in a few hours. All right, Mr. Zeig, you first.
Now, see here. This isn't fair. I created you. You can't.
You grab him.
I've got him.
Quick, that hammer.
Look out!
Oh, well, that's the end of Brayling, too.
But he got Zeig, though.
Yeah.
Right through the... Holy jumping catfish. And look at him. Look at Zeig.
It's nothing but a mass of coils and springs, just like Brayling, too. Well, he's nothing but a marionette. He's no different. Brayling. Do you know what this means?
Oh, this is incredible.
A marionette building other marionettes?
But someone must have built Mr. Zeig originally. I wonder...
Well, perhaps Mr. Zeig turned on whoever built him the same way Brayling, too, turned on you.
Well, at any rate, we'll never know.
Oh. Say, I wonder how many of these things are walking around among us.
Oh, I shudder to think of that.
You know, some of our best friends might be.
Ooh.
Yeah. Come on, we have to get out of here.
But the police...
Now, don't be a fool, Brayling. There's been no crime committed here. All the police will find is two oversized puppets with the springs coming out of them.
And they seem so lifelike.
Yes, I know, and they were only machinery. You got to remember that.
Yes. Well, what'll I tell Gloria?
Well, if I were you, Brayling, I wouldn't tell Gloria a thing. I'd simply pick up that other ticket to Rio and take her on a honeymoon, just as she's expecting.
But what about you, though, Henry? What are you going to do?
Me? Well, I'm going home and give Nettie a kiss that'll singe her hair. Oh, you know, when I think of what might have happened if I'd gone through with this marionette thing, it makes a fellow realize how lucky he is to be married to a decent woman. Oh, come on, let's go. Nettie? Nettie? Where are you, sweetheart?
In here, darling.
Oh, I've missed you today. Come here.
Oh, Henry.
Hmm.
Oh, you look tired, darling. Can I do something for you? Just tell me I'm yours to command.
Oh, man's a fool to jeopardize a nice home and a loving wife like you. Oh, you do love me, don't you, Nettie?
Oh, you know I do. Here, let me get your slippers on.
No. Oh, it feels good to sit back on the sofa and relax. Oh, you don't know what a trying day I've had.
Oh, I can see you're all upset. It isn't anything I've done, is it, dearest?
No. Well, in a way, something you've done is connected with it, yes.
What's that, darling?
The money.
Money?
Now, I know you wanted to surprise me with the house, darling, but really you shouldn't have taken that money out of the bank without consulting me.
Henry, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Now, Nettie.
But I don't.
Nettie.
Oh, you're so upset, darling. If it's anything important, let's talk about it later. Meanwhile, why don't you just put your head on my shoulder and rest?
Well, I must admit that sounds enticing.
Here, let me make you comfortable. There. Now, you just close your eyes. That's it.
Nettie,
Yes, darling?
you hear something?
No, darling.
You sure?
Like what?
Like the ticking of a clock?
No.
Strange. I don't hear it now, but when I had my ear against your chest... Oh, no. Oh, no, she couldn't have done that to me. Not Nettie.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about... No, I won't believe it. You're my Nettie, aren't you? You're real live flesh and blood. But I hear it. It's coming from you. It's coming from you.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Marionettes Incorporated, written by Ray Bradbury and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Les Damon, Dick Hamilton, Carl Swenson, Theo Getz, Arthur Cole, Bob Hastings, Freddie Chandler, and Ginger Jones. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Pro Football Championship, Los Angeles Rams versus Cleveland Browns, Monday, NBC Radio.
Our next broadcast was produced for syndication in 1949 at WMGM, New York. It was based on a popular series of movies in the late 1930s and early 1940s and brought to the microphone the stars of the series, Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Ayres plays the young, idealistic doctor, and Barrymore, ever in character, was the crusty, lovable diagnostician. The men worked at Blair General Hospital, one of the great citadels of American medicine, a clump of gray-white buildings planted deep in the heart of New York, where life begins, where life ends, where life goes on. We present to you Dr. Kildare on HOJO Radio.
The story of Dr. Kildare.
Whatsoever house I enter, there will I go for the benefit of the sick. And whatsoever things I see or hear concerning the life of men, I will keep silence thereon, counting such things to be held as sacred trusts. I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my faith.
The story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer brought you those famous motion pictures. Now this exciting, heartwarming series is heard on radio. In just a moment, the story of Dr. Kildare. But first, your announcer. The story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Blair General Hospital, one of the great citadels of American medicine, a clump of gray-white buildings planted deep in the heart of New York, the nerve center of medical progress where great minds and skilled hands wage man's everlasting battle against death and disease. Blair General Hospital, where life begins, where life ends, where life goes on.
Diagnostics office. Miss Parker speaking. Yes, just a moment. For you, Dr. Kildare. Please.
Well, Jimmy, your sins have found you out.
Oh, no, my hands are clean, my heart is pure. Thanks, Parker. Kildare speaking.
Hello, Jim. This is Ed Dana at Precinct Headquarters.
Ed, how are you?
Oh, can't complain.
Was this a social call or business?
I'm afraid it's business. Are there any patients in the jail ward at the moment?
No, it's empty. And I hope it stays that way.
Sorry, Jimmy. It isn't going to.
Oh?
We just caught Nick Mazzetti, the guy who held up that armored truck 4 days ago. He needs a doctor.
I see.
He's been carrying 2 bullets ever since the robbery. Hasn't had medical attention. He's in bad shape. We're bringing him over in a police ambulance.
All right, Ed. See you when you get here. So long. It was Lieutenant Dana. You're bringing over a prisoner named Mazzetti, the one the newspapers called the payroll bandit.
Is he shot up?
2 bullet wounds that happened during the holdup. He hasn't had a doctor.
Oh, that could be bad.
Yeah. Parker, you better set up an emergency operating room.
Oh, all right, Dr. Kildare.
A police case is always bad, Dr. Gillespie. Means armed guards on the 9th floor, and you never know what the patient's going to try. You work your head off to pull him through, and then turn him over to the state.
Well, at least he lives a healthier life in his cell.
Not in this case. Payroll messenger was killed during the robbery. He's up for first-degree murder.
Pardon me, is this what...
Yeah, come on in, Ed.
Oh, hello, Jim. I didn't recognize you. All you guys look alike in those uniforms.
Guess we do. Dr. Gillespie, Lieutenant Dana.
Glad to meet you, Doctor.
How are you, Lieutenant? I'm sorry, but I can't shake hands. You're unclean, you know.
Huh? You mean surgically unclean, Ed. We've already scrubbed up. Now, what's the location of those bullets? I haven't seen the x-rays.
Well, one's high up in the left shoulder. The other one's in the chest, the area right around here.
Oh, yes.
You probably call it by some name a yard long.
That's the only thing that gives the medical profession any position of prestige, Lieutenant Dana. The fact that most people don't understand Latin.
Dr. Kildare, we're ready whenever you are.
Oh, all right, Diana. Did Parker tell you about the case?
He just said police emergency. Bullet wounds.
That's right, 2 of them. One's probably a probe, and the other's in the chest, so it may take an incision.
All right, Doctor.
Oh, and instead of local anesthetic, I think under the circumstances we better have the patient unconscious.
Cyclopropane?
Right.
Okay. See you inside.
Well, everything's ready to go, but the patient. He ought to be here any second now. Sergeant Riley's bringing him up on a stretcher. Riley, by the way, will stand guard the rest of the day and evening. I'll send a relief at midnight.
What's likely to happen to this fellow, Lieutenant?
He killed a man, Dr. Gillespie. Incidentally, I'd like to be present in the operating room when you take these bullets out. I take him and mark him for evidence.
Well, just crawl into one of those white robes, put on a face mask.
Am I in the right place? Yeah. Wheel him in, Riley.
Well, heart seems to be holding up all right. His color's good.
You really like it, huh?
Oh, you're conscious. How do you feel?
Fine. How do you feel?
He's a tough cookie, Jim. I don't think you'll get far talking to him.
Lousy copper. Why don't you drop dead?
Like that payroll messenger.
Lousy copper.
Well, now that the social amenities are taken care of, let's go to work.
It's deeper than it looked. Tighter, too. Number 7 forceps, please.
Here you are, Doctor.
Oh, thanks.
Is it flattened out any, Jimmy?
No, I don't think so, but it's right in the center of that muscle group.
The round nose 38 shouldn't have flattened much unless it hit a bone.
Sponge, Doctor?
Oh, thanks.
4 days with these wounds not dressed? I don't know, Jimmy. He's running a pretty high fever.
Wait a second. I think I've got it here. If I can just hold onto the... There. Well, Ed, I guess you'll want this.
Yeah, it's evidence. Just drop it in this box, if you will. Thanks. I'll seal this now, and you fellas can sign it when you're through.
How's his pulse?
Still strong, Jimmy. Oh, he has an amazing constitution.
Mazzetti's tough all the way through. I'll be glad enough when we can move him out of the hospital and into a jail cell.
Well, you'll have him guarded, Lieutenant Dana. What could happen?
Nothing, actually, but I'll still sleep easier when he's locked up.
He even looks dangerous under the anesthetic.
Oh, we'll be careful, Ed. I'll probably take care of his wounds myself. I'll speak to whichever nurse is assigned.
You can speak to her now if you like. I met...
You? Oh, now, Diana, I'm not sure that I
You heard
think
what
that's...
the lieutenant said? Nothing's going to happen.
Oh, no, of course it isn't, but still, Well, let's get that other bullet.
I don't care what you say, Dr. Gillespie. Maybe silly, but it's dark outside, and I won't walk across the street to that lunchroom alone.
All right, Parker. All right. Sit there and starve to death, then, for all I care.
I'll buy you dinner if you'll go with me.
I had dinner an hour ago.
Oh. Well, then I'll just call up and have them send over a sandwich.
No, you don't. Put that phone down.
Well, I like that.
There'll be no more eating in this office. You know what I found yesterday folded up in old lady Sprotley's pathology record?
No, what?
A slice of salami.
I never eat salami.
Well, somebody did. Now, go on over there and eat your dinner.
I couldn't eat a bite just thinking of that criminal.
Oh, confound it, Parker. He's on the 9th floor under guard. What is it to worry about?
Well, you just never know, Dr. Gillespie. You never know.
You never know what, Parker.
Oh, she's seeing armed killers around every corner, Jimmy. Even scared to walk across the street to Sullivan's.
I don't think you have to worry about Mazzetti, if that's it. Diana says he's still delirious.
Yeah, not so tough after all, huh?
I guess those 4 days of fever and infection took a heavier toll than it seemed. He was evidently going on his nerves.
Yeah, I noticed that even under the anesthetic. He was as taut as a fiddle string.
He's worse now. Diana says he's been rolling and tossing continuously from one side of the bed to the other. I don't know whether it's nerves, fever, or just his imagination working overtime.
Well, it's got plenty to work on, Jimmy.
Yes, it has. By the way, Parker, I haven't had dinner either.
Oh, Dr. Kildare, would you?
I would. Come on, we'll protect each other.
Mr. Mazzetti, you've got to lie still. You keep irritating those incisions. Now, you try to lie still and get some sleep if you can, huh?
Is everything all right in here, miss?
Oh, yes, fine, Sergeant Riley. Except he's so restless. I'm afraid he'll tear his bandages loose.
And if I was in his shoes, I'd be restless, too.
Oh, so. Too bad.
Ah, don't waste no sympathy on him. He never had any for anybody else. Hey, I've been sitting outside the door here, wondering something.
Oh?
I noticed you're not wearing no wedding ring. Wondering if you ever go out with fellas.
Oh, yes, Sergeant. I go out quite often.
You do?
With Dr. Kildare.
Huh. Well, I'll be outside. Call me if you want.
Thanks. I will. Here, now. What are we going to do with you? Mr. Mazzetti, you've got to lie still. Careful. Oh, good heavens. Sergeant Riley.
What's the matter? What's going on?
No, silly. Put that gun away. He's fallen out of bed. I need some help.
No. Okay.
Take his shoulders. I'll take his feet. Careful with the bandage.
Okay. All right, now. Come on. Yeah. Guess that ought to hold
All
it.
right. Get your hands up.
What?
Over against the wall there. Face against it. Move. Shut that door, sister. Don't try anything.
All right.
Okay, over there beside him. Thanks for the gun, Flatfoot. Thought I was through, huh?
What are you planning to do?
Well, I think the first thing is to get rid of the copper.
Oh! That's the most brutal thing I ever saw.
And keep remembering it. We'll get along better that way.
What are you going to do?
I mean, what are we going to do, baby? We're playing together now, just you and me, all alone. Cozy, huh?
That's all very well for you to say, Dr. Gillespie. You're not a defenseless woman.
Neither are you.
And at least I enjoyed my dinner in peace, thanks to Dr. Kildare.
A pleasure, Parker.
Instead of sitting over there expecting any minute to be shot in the back.
Parker, it would have to be in the back. That face of yours would stop the most hardened desperado.
Well, I like that.
You wouldn't if you had to look at it every day.
I don't mean that. I don't... Oh...
Kildare speaking. What? Yes, I'll be right there. Dr. Gillespie.
What's wrong?
The night supervisor just found Mazzetti's guard slugged, lying in the room.
What?
Mazzetti and Diana are gone.
By the great horn spoon.
Parker, call Lieutenant Dana at precinct headquarters and tell him to get over here fast.
We return to the story of Dr. Kildare in just a moment. Continue with the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Oh, that's a terrible gash on his head, Dr. Kildare. Do you suppose maybe his skull's fractured?
Could be. We'll check it in a minute. First, I want to get him conscious enough to answer a few questions. Hand me another ammonia ampoule.
Oh, here you are.
Now, breathe in now, Riley. Deep breath.
Where am I?
You were knocked out, Riley.
Mazzetti got my gun.
Yes, I know. Now listen, Riley. Did he say where he was going?
He pretended to fall out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
Helped the nurse pick him up. He grabbed my gun.
Yes, I know. Did you know where he was going, or did he say what he planned to do?
No, he got...
Oh, he's passed out again.
Yeah, check his pulse, Parker. One thing sure, he's not going to be able to help us any. Come in, Ed. How's Riley? Conscious a minute ago, but no help. He scarcely knows what hit him. Mazzetti pulled a trick and slugged him with his own gun.
And he's got that gun with him now, wherever he is.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I've thrown out 2 fast police cordons, one at 6 blocks radius and one at a mile. Been an APB on the police radio since 20 seconds after I was notified. And we've ordered out the day shift detectives for special duty. We'll get him, Jim. He doesn't have a chance.
Ed, how much chance do you think Diana has?
Well, she's a nurse, and he's got those bullet holes to think about. She's valuable to him, so... Jim, let's not look on the worst side unless we have to.
Jimmy, everything's being done that can be done. All you can do now is wait and try and relax.
Oh, it's an easy medicine to prescribe, but it's a hard one to take. You're not very relaxed yourself, you know.
Well, I feel the same way you do, Jimmy. I couldn't love that girl anymore if she was my own daughter. But our hands are tied.
I know one thing, Dr. Gillespie. I'm a physician, and I've always believed in protecting life and saving it. But if he harms Diana in any way, so help me.
Oh, no, Jimmy, that kind of thinking doesn't lead anywhere. And Lieutenant Dana said himself...
Any word yet?
No, not a thing.
What are you carrying there, Parker?
Oh, this you mean? Oh, it's a nurse's cap. The janitor found it a little while ago. I guess one of the girls...
Let me see that.
Well, yes, of course, Doctor.
Jimmy?
I'd know that perfume anywhere. It's Diana's.
Huh?
Parker, do you know where he found it? I mean, exactly where.
Why, yes, in front of the door of the pathology lab.
Dr. Gillespie, she dropped it on purpose, and they're still here in the building. No wonder the police hit a dead end.
You mean Diana and that killer are right here in the hills?
Let her lie there, Jimmy. If we revive her, she'll only have hysterics.
Yeah. Look, will you call Ed and have him get over here with some men? I'm going down to that lab.
Might be a little dangerous.
If the police try to take him, someone will get killed. Alone, I may have a chance. I'll see you later.
All right. Get your hands up.
Oh, Mazzetti.
Jimmy.
You all right, sweetie?
Yes, I'm all right.
Well, that ain't the doc that took them bullets out of me.
That's right. What are you doing here? We thought you were miles away.
Never mind that. You had a chance to see the gun, so snap off those lights and get over there in front of the windows with the girl. Go on, move.
Okay. Hi, baby.
Jimmy.
This way, you mean?
Yeah. You make a nice target against the street lights. How'd you happen to come down here?
The hospital still has patients, kidnapping or not. I had some tests to make.
Anybody else know about it?
No, most of the staff's gone to bed.
Good.
Mazzetti, why don't you give yourself up? You don't have a chance. The whole city's hunting for you.
They haven't found me yet.
They will.
Well, it better not be here if they do. Because you two'll get it before I do. You can count on that.
How about letting Miss Werner leave on her promise to keep still?
Do I look like that kind of a patsy?
If you'll let her go, I'll help you get out of here.
Skip it, Doc. Not so much talk. I like it quiet.
Okay.
Jimmy, is that my cap?
Yeah. You want it?
Thanks a lot.
I said keep your mouth shut.
All right, Mazzetti. You got the gun, so you're the boss. We just work here.
Well, there's the floor plan of the lab section. Lieutenant, you can block off that corridor at each end and put men on the ground below the windows. No other way out.
So I see. Well, I'll have the boys keep out of sight and just stand by, Dr. Gillespie. But if something doesn't break in the next 10 minutes, we'll have to move in regardless.
Over my dead body.
Now, be reasonable, Dr. Gillespie. You said yourself he didn't even have a plan when he went down there.
Well, he will have, though. Just give him time.
I'll give him all the time I possibly can. He's a friend of mine, too, you know.
Well, he's more than a friend to me. He and Diana Werner are the two people I love most in the world. And so help me, I'm not going to have him killed through some more police bungling.
Well, you hit a sore spot there. We did bungle on it. All right, what do you suggest?
That we stand by, Lieutenant. That's all. Just stand by.
Hey, what's going on over there?
Shifting from one foot to the other, Mazzetti. Is that forbidden?
Just don't try anything, that's all.
Okay.
Can we have the light on?
No.
Couldn't be seen from the corridor if that's what bothers you.
You'll attract more attention if you knock over something else. Like that bottle you broke.
I said no.
Bottle? What bottle?
I don't know. It was one of those on the specimen table.
Well, be careful moving around. There's some fairly rough stuff in these bottles.
What do you mean, rough stuff?
No, bacteria, germ cultures, virus specimens. It's a pathology lab, you know. There isn't really much danger as long as no one gets caught on the broken glass.
You then, nurse. You go on over and turn on the light. Just turn it on and go right back where you were. Okay. Now stay there. Doc, take a look at that broken bottle and see if you can tell what was in it.
Sure. Don't know what you've got in mind, but... Here's the piece with the label. Adepsilon ion hydrins. Well, Mazzetti, you picked the worst specimen in the lab to knock over.
Yeah? What's it mean?
Leprosy.
Leprosy?
You'd both better stay away from the table. One sliver of this glass, and it's just too bad.
Yeah.
Look at your hand.
Yeah, I cut it when I broke that bottle.
What? Let me see that. Uh-oh.
Doc, I'm not going to get leprosy, am I?
How long ago did this happen?
Oh, I don't know. It was when we first came in here.
It's been almost 4 hours now, Jimmy.
But not quite 4 hours, huh?
No.
All right. Diana, make a 3 cc aqueous solution of Panapon hydrochloride. It's in the middle cabinet there.
All right, Jimmy.
Now, there should be a case of hypos here in the table drawer.
What's the pitch, Doc? Is there any chance? Is there anything you can do?
Yes, if it hasn't been 4 hours yet, there's a good chance. No, here we are.
Here's the solution, Jimmy.
Oh, thanks. Now, I'll fill this syringe.
Look, Doc, if you're trying to pull something, don't forget I got a gun on you.
Mazzetti, I don't care whether I give you this hypo or not. It's entirely up to you.
Okay, go ahead. But just don't try nothing.
All right. Now, let's have your left arm.
Tourniquet?
Yeah, thanks. Now, we'll find a vein. This needle's gonna sting, so be careful with that trigger.
Go ahead.
Okay. There. That ought to do the job. The fee is $5.
Send the bill to the police commissioner.
How much longer are we going to have to stay here?
Until I get ready to leave. That may be any time from now until...
Oh, you may be a little dizzy from that shot, but it'll pass over in a few seconds.
Yeah, I feel like... like... Doped me.
That's ridiculous.
Double cross.
Watch it, Jimmy. He's going to shoot.
Yeah, I've got him. You missed, Mazzetti.
You doped me.
Well, we can breathe easy, maybe. He's out cold.
Jimmy.
All right, Mazzetti. Over. Come on in. It's unlocked.
Where is he, Jim?
There on the floor. Asleep.
Asleep? What happened, Jimmy?
Oh, he cut himself on a broken lanolin bottle and for some reason got the idea he had leprosy.
Leprosy?
That's right, Ed. Noticed the cut on his hand, and when Diana said he'd broken a bottle, I played a hunch. You see, he doesn't understand Latin.
Yeah, we cured him with a shot of morphine. Come on, Jimmy.
He certainly looks cured, all right.
He sure does.
Only confounded, Jimmy, I still don't understand what a lanolin bottle's got to do with the fact that he... Lieutenant, which way'd they go?
In just a moment, we will return to the story of Dr. Kildare. Once again, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Oh, morning, Jimmy.
Hi.
Come on in.
Anything new today, Dr. Gillespie?
No, couple of patients waiting for diagnosis, but I haven't had time to see them yet.
Oh.
What's with you?
I was just up the 9th floor checking the Mazzetti setup. Ed's certainly taking no chances this time.
Oh?
He's using 3 guards, 1 inside the room and 2 outside. The door stays open all the time.
I imagine.
Good morning, Dr. Gillespie, Dr. Kildare.
Good morning, Parker.
By the way, Parker, here are the assignment sheets for nurses on the Mazzetti case.
Mm-hmm.
Give them to Molly Bird, will you?
All right, Dr. Gillespie. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Miss Brawley. 4 to midnight, Miss Jenkins. Of course, from midnight on is the Miss Parker!
Yes, right, Parker. All alone up there in the darkness. With...
Oh.
Well, by the great horn spoon. Jimmy, will
My dear Dr. G, I'm way ahead of you. Here's the smelling salts.
You have just heard the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. This program was written by Les Crutchfield and directed by William P. Russo. Original music was composed and conducted by Walter Schumann. Supporting cast included Virginia Gregg, Georgia Ellis, Barton Yarborough, Barney Phillips, and Vic Perrin. Dick Joy speaking.
HOJO Radio, where the classics come alive.
The story of Dr. Kildare.
Whatsoever house I enter, there will I go for the benefit of the sick. And whatsoever things I see or hear concerning the life of men, I will keep silence thereon, counting such things to be held as sacred trusts. I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my being.
The story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer brought you those famous motion pictures. Now this exciting, heartwarming series is heard on radio. In just a moment, the story of Dr. Kildare. But first, your announcer. The story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Blair General Hospital, one of the great citadels of American medicine. A clump of gray-white buildings planted deep in the heart of New York. The nerve center of medical progress, where skilled hands and great minds wage man's everlasting battle against death and disease. Blair General Hospital, where life begins, where life ends, where life goes on.
Morning, Daddy.
Oh, hi, sweetie. Well, everything's all right now, and my day has begun.
You've been working for hours.
Ah, but not living.
Well, thank you, sir.
What have you got there, Angel?
7 case histories, all for you, with the compliments of the chief diagnostician.
Dr. Gillespie, the old son of a gun. What's he doing?
Oh, he kept about the same number for himself.
Sure he did. Picked out the interesting cases and sent me the culls. I've seen him operate before.
Well, he ought to have some privileges after all these years.
Oh, I know. I'm just kidding. Why, with 35 years staff service as of next week and being the greatest diagnostician, he ought to have all the privileges.
Well, he could have them, too, if he wanted.
Yes. I think the Board of Regents lies awake nights worrying for fear he'll retire. Carew has nightmares about it, too.
Do you think he'll be surprised by the testimonial dinner Friday night?
I doubt if anything would really surprise Dr. Gillespie, but as far as I know, he hasn't heard about it anyway. Unless Parker's found out.
I know. I like Parker, but she's such a gossip.
Everything she hears goes right through her head and out her mouth with no pause for station identification. That's why she hasn't been told.
Oh, of course, it'll ruin everything.
Oh, I know. Dr. Gillespie's a hard man to surprise, but I think the dinner Friday night will do it.
Dr. Gillespie, I don't have the faintest notion of what you're talking about.
Oh, confound it, Parker. Of course you know. You know everything that goes on around this hospital, whether it's any of your business or not.
Well.
A rumor wouldn't have a chance of getting past those flapping ears of yours. Not to mention that long, snoopy nose.
Oh!
I have asked you a simple question, Parker, and you're just a simple-minded moron to give me a simple answer.
I've told you 3 times already I have not heard any rumors about you, and if you won't tell me what kind of rumors, then you can
All right now. The rumor is that the board is planning to retire me next week.
Retire you?
Not so loud. 10 to 1, that pipsqueak Carew's behind it.
But they can't do that.
I am 6 years over age. Of course they can.
Oh, but they wouldn't. Why, it's the last thing in the world. You know, come to think of it, they might at that.
Parker, stop grinning. If you think for a minute you're going to get out from under my thumb, why, so help me.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Kildare.
Good morning, Parker. Dr. Gillespie, I want to pick up my medical kit. I have 7 new ward patients this morning.
Oh, really, Jimmy?
As if you didn't know.
To be sure, yes. Yep. Jimmy, have you happened to hear any interesting rumors around the hospital this morning?
Rumors? No, can't say that I have.
No wild, fantastic stories? Nothing out of the ordinary at all?
No, same old stuff. Well, better get on with my rounds. Oh, by the way, Dr. Gillespie, have you made any plans for Friday evening?
Friday? No. As a matter of fact, I haven't. Why?
No, Board of Regents is calling a special meeting.
Special meeting?
Yes, I thought we might attend together.
Well, you know I never go to board meetings, Jimmy.
Might be a good idea to go to this one, though. It starts at 8 o'clock, incidentally.
Special meeting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I don't suppose you have any idea what it's all about.
No, I guess we'll find out when we get there. Well, see you later.
You were right, Dr. Gillespie. That's what they're going to do.
Retired. Thrown on the scrap heap. Cast aside like an old hot water bottle.
Well, I guess they realize that you aren't getting any younger.
I never felt better in my life. Why, I can out-diagnose any other 3 doctors in this hospital. By the tarnation, I'll prove it to them.
Calling Dr. Berman. Please come to surgery at once. Dr. Berman, come to surgery.
Oh, Dr. Kildare.
Good morning, Doctor.
Could I speak to you a moment?
Sure. What can I do for you?
Well, I know you and Dr. Gillespie have always been very close, and I wanted to ask you something about him.
What do you mean?
Well, I wondered whether you'd noticed anything about his actions during the last 2 days that might be considered, shall we be frank?
Oh, let's do.
Then we'll say his actions have been odd.
Eccentric?
Quite.
Well, I suppose that's frank enough. And as a matter of fact, Dr. Crew, I've been too busy to pay much attention to him.
Well, I can assure you, Dr. Kildare, that his manner is very,
odd?
Quite. Why, for one thing, he's going to work now at 7:30 in the morning.
What? Why, he hasn't started office hours before 9 or 9:30 for years.
Precisely. Oh, I tell you, there's... Oh, dear. Here he comes. As I was saying, Dr. Kildare, we're planning to paint the south wing, light mold, and the east
Good morning, Jimmy. Good morning.
Morning.
Carew? You sleepyheads. Tried to find both of you 8 o'clock this morning, but there wasn't a soul stirring. Except me, of course.
Well, 8 o'clock is a little early, Dr. Gillespie.
Early? Why, I've already done a full day's work, and here it is only lunchtime.
Which is a good suggestion, by the way. How about joining me?
Oh, sorry, Jimmy, sorry. I'd just grab a quick sandwich and then use the time to work off my excess energy.
Excess energy? I wish I had some.
I'll tell you the secret. A pound of rare steak at 6:30 in the morning. What? There's nothing like it after an hour's brisk walk.
You're doing that?
Oh, yes. Following my cold shower, of course.
Oh, dear. Don't even talk about cold shower early in the morning.
I've got more energy, physical and mental, than I had 20 years ago.
Hey, it's lunchtime, Doc. Sir?
Oh, so it is, Wayman, so it is.
Well, I'm ready any time you are.
Wayman, today I'm going to beat the pants off you.
Yeah? Well, you didn't do so hot yesterday.
Well, my feet kept slipping. But I went out this morning and bought some bowling shoes.
Bowling shoes? Is that how you're spending your lunch hour?
Yes, Jimmy, yes. Man keeps in trim, you know. Healthy, alert. Come on, Wayman. See you later, boys.
Boys? Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Beginning to see what you meant, Dr. Guru. I don't know what it's all about, but it is, interesting.
Just picked up the morning haul, Jimmy. Here are 5 new cases for you.
Only 5? Lightest check-in a long time.
Well, there were 17 altogether, for I'm handling the other 12 myself.
Oh, I see.
Oh, good morning, Miss Banner. Good morning. I didn't mean to ignore you.
That's all right, Dr. Gillespie. I've noticed how busy you've been this week.
Merely evidence of a well-known medical fact, young lady. A man my age frequently gets a second wind, and he's good for 20 years more work.
Well, watching you, I can believe it. Gotta run, Jimmy.
All right, sweetie.
See you.
Oh, wow. Wonderful girl, Jimmy. Why, if I were 10 years younger...
10?
Well, that's the way I feel.
Well, it's something I've been meaning to take up with you.
Huh?
You know, if I were your doctor, I'd advise you to slow down a little. Take it easy.
Ridiculous. I never felt better.
Oh, come now. Sooner or later, everyone reaches an age when he has to retire.
I won't
from some-
retire.
Oh, no, I mean retire from participating in some of the more strenuous activities that a younger person might.
Nonsense.
Maybe. I've heard you give the same advice to many elderly patients.
Elderly?
Anyway, let's leave it for the present. We can talk about it this evening at the special board meeting.
Board meeting?
Mm-hmm.
We're still planning to have it then.
Well, sure. Why not?
Oh, no reason at all, Jimmy. No reason at all. Why shouldn't they have it if that's the way they feel?
I know exactly how you feel, Dr. Gillespie, and I'm very sorry for you, but after all, what can I do about it?
You're just as ungrateful as that Board of Regents. Here I've nearly killed myself all week long trying to show them I'm fit for something beside retirement. But do they care?
No.
Shut up! No, they don't care. They're still going to hold their confounded meeting tonight, sit there and gloat while I'm drummed off the staff.
Oh, yes, it's all so dramatic, just like the movie.
Parker, confound it. If I were flat on my back and dying, you'd stand there and say it was just like the...
What's the matter?
Now, if they thought I was ill, dying maybe, why, they might call the whole thing off.
Huh?
Of course they would. Why, they wouldn't have the heart to retire a man who was only one step from death.
Oh, hello, Dr. Kildare.
Say, Dr. Gillespie, I was wondering... What's the matter with you? Huh?
Oh, terrific pains, Jimmy.
Oh, really? Where?
Oh, the heart, lungs, liver.
Well, we better get you to bed and check you over.
Oh, it came on suddenly, Jimmy. It's serious, I'm afraid. Oh, I'm sorry about the Board of Regents tonight.
Oh, yes. Well, I'd better let Carew know.
Yes?
Then we'll get to work on you. See what you can do for him, Doctor.
I know what I could do for him. You phony.
Shut up, Parker. This is Kildare, Dr. Carew. Dr. Gillespie has just been taken ill.
Can I get something for you, Dr. Gillespie? Oh, what a lousy act.
No, I don't know how serious it is yet, but I thought you'd want to know in regard to the meeting tonight.
Just let me lie here in the chair, Parker.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Back me up or I'll murder you.
Oh, fine, Dr. Carew. I think that'll work out very well. All right, goodbye. Well, that takes care of that.
Jimmy, I'm sorry about the meeting.
Oh, that's all right. They're calling it off.
Oh, they shouldn't have done that, Jimmy.
Oh, it'll work out all right. You see, Carew's postponing it until next Tuesday.
We return to the story of Dr. Kildare in just a moment. now we continue with the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
There's one more, Jimmy. The Jenkins case.
Jenkins. Oh, yes. Let's see. Exploratory information of external biliary fistula, scheduled for surgery tomorrow morning. General preoperative condition good. Prognosis favorable.
All right. That's the last one.
Oh, good. I hate reports.
Jimmy, what's the prognosis for us?
No. Very favorable.
Is that all?
Excellent, then.
That's better, Doctor.
Has anyone ever told you that you're very lovely?
Oh, yes. Nearly all the interns.
So that's what's been going on behind my back.
Daily. Every hour on the hour.
Well, it's got to cease.
Yes, Jimmy.
Drastic measures seem to be in order.
Yes, Jimmy?
And I only know of one sure way to put a stop to it.
Yes, Jimmy.
Good morning, Dr. Kildare, Miss Werner.
Come in, Dr. Carew.
Thank you very much. Though, of course, I had been.
So you are.
I guess I'd better take these reports to the office, Dr. Kildare.
Mm-hmm.
What was your opinion again on that last case?
Oh, prognosis terrific.
Mm-hmm. See you later.
I can't say I've ever heard that expression before. Prognosis terrific.
You're not likely to again, Dr. Carew. Anything I can do for you?
Well, frankly, I'm very concerned about Dr. Gillespie.
Oh, he's feeling much better today. I couldn't find anything wrong with him. In fact, I think he probably just strained some muscles with all this athletic activity he's gone in for.
And that's precisely what I'm concerned about, Dr. Kildare.
In what way?
I wonder if it might not be a good idea for Dr. Gillespie to retire.
Retire? Well, now that's odd. He mentioned the same subject himself a few days ago.
Really?
Of course, he seemed highly opposed to the idea, but that might be just a cover-up.
Cover-up? I don't follow you.
Well, he's talked about retiring for years, you know, and I've never taken him seriously. Maybe he really wants to retire, but feels he has a duty to the hospital. Certainly developed a lot of non-medical interests lately.
Oh, he has. Well, if that's true, we could make the testimonial dinner a retirement dinner, as much as I'd hate.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll talk to him, try to find out. Subtly, of course.
Well, all right. But I wonder
No,
if
just sit tight, keep your gardenia watered. I'll let you know.
Oh, of course I feel all right, Jimmy. There was nothing really wrong with me in the first place. Except, well...
Touch of overwork, maybe.
Oh, certainly not. No. I am perfectly capable of turning out as much work as I ever could.
Then maybe it was a combination, like too much bowling, brisk walks, cold showers, rare steak.
Ah, ridiculous. I was merely conducting an experiment, Jimmy.
I see. Dr. Gillespie, have you thought much lately about retiring?
By the great horn spoon.
I know you have a strong loyalty to Blair, but after all, your reputation as a diagnostician has made this hospital. You don't owe your whole life to it.
You too, Jimmy. I guess you feel the same way as the others, that I've slipped into my dotage and ready for the scrappy.
Now, hold it a second. I don't see that retirement automatically means senility. But perhaps it is time you started thinking of yourself for a change. Well, look what happened last week. You overdid it for a few days and wound up here in bed. You're just not as young as you were once.
By the tarnation. So that's their reasoning. The morons. Confounded backfired, the vultures.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I should have stayed with the first plan. Parker! Parker!
Good heavens, Dr. Gillespie, stop shouting like that. You're a convalescent.
You're an idiot.
What?
Parker, phone the garage and have Wayman come right up here.
Wayman? Well, what do you want him
It's
for?
none of your business. Get out of here.
Oh.
Snoopy.
Whoa!
There's still a little fight in the old man, Jimmy. So help me, I'll show him yet.
Oh, who what? Plans, experiments, backfires, a little more of this, and I'll be as eccentric as you are.
Who says I'm eccentric?
I do.
I'm sorry, Dr. Gillespie, but I simply don't get it.
Parker, you never get it.
Well, I guess I'm not so stupid.
Parker, you idiot. I shouldn't have changed plans. I think I'd almost convinced him that I still possess the full vigor and alertness of youth.
Well, you didn't convince me.
Oh, what do you know about youth? I think one last desperate measure may do the job.
Well, it must be desperate if you plan to use Wayman for it. If there's one human being who's a direct descendant of a chimpanzee, Wayman's it.
Somebody mention my name?
Oh.
Come in, Wayman. Come in. Shut the door. I was just telling Parker that you're the only man with the right qualifications for a little project of mine.
Well, thanks, Doc. I mean, sir, I've always tried to keep myself mental fit.
Mental fit, huh? Well, that does explain your personality.
Yeah, I'm a great guy for pinball games and tic-tac-toe. Yeah, mental type stuff.
Well, the qualifications I had in mind are slightly different.
Huh?
One is the fact that you like to make a fast buck.
You said it.
Yeah. The other is your lack of inhibitions about prevarication.
Oh, what you said. Yeah, I don't know if I want to get mixed up in nothing like that.
Well, what I mean is you don't mind telling a lie if there's money in it.
Oh, well, yeah, well, why didn't you say so?
Wayman, I think we understand each other.
Yeah, sure we do. What's your proposition, Doc?
Doc?
What?
So help me, if I didn't need you, Well, misery, politics, and retirements make strange bedfellows.
Yeah.
Wayman, have a cigar.
I simply can't understand what's keeping him, Dr. Kildare. We really ought to leave in a few minutes now.
Oh, you'll be along, Dr. Carew. He knows he's supposed to meet me here in your office.
But since he thinks it's just a board meeting and nothing else, he may not even bother to come.
I think he will, Diana. I tried to keep stressing the importance of the meeting without tipping him off that it's actually a dinner in his honor. I'm sure he'll be here, though.
Well, in view of his erratic behavior the past week, I wouldn't be surprised at anything he might do.
He has acted strangely. I can't quite understand what it...
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Well,
Miss Verner, you're looking charming. That's much too lovely a gown for a board meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Gillespie.
Sorry to be a couple of minutes late, boys. But I didn't bother with the elevator. I walked up.
You walked? 12 floors?
Oh, it's all a matter of constitution. Wine improves with age, you know. Well, let's go on into the boardroom.
Well, as a matter of fact, the meeting's being held over at Fontaine's restaurant, Dr. Gillespie. There's a taxi down there.
Fontaine's restaurant?
Yes.
By the tarnation, that's the last straw. What do you mean? I had no idea I'd have to face this humiliation in a public place.
What are you talking about?
I am a tired old man, Carew, and I can't go on with the act. Go ahead, then. Throw me out. Kick me in the teeth. But don't ask me to be present while you do it.
Oh, dear. He's finally gone off his rocker.
All right, Dr. Carew. I guess we'd better call off the surprise. Dr. Gillespie, this isn't a board meeting. It's a testimonial dinner to celebrate your 35 years with Blair Hospital.
What? You mean I'm not being retired?
I hope not for many years, Dr. Gillespie. Of course, we have wondered about some of your actions recently.
Grossly exaggerated, Carew. Nothing at all to those rumors you heard.
Rumors? But I did actually see some things myself.
Misinterpreted, Carew. Merely a little experiment of mine.
Well, the board members will be very happy to hear it. Things had got back to some of them.
Oh, there you are, Doc. I mean, sir, I'm ready to pay off. Here's your $10.
Get away, Wayman. You bother me.
Boy, I sure never would have thought you could do it.
Do what, Wayman?
No, Jimmy, he doesn't know.
You see, the Doc and me has been bowling every day, and he's been taking me regular.
Wayman.
Rolls 240s, 250s. I didn't have no chance, so I cooked up this here race.
Wayman.
30 laps around the garage on roller skates.
What? Dr. Gillespie.
There's nothing to it, Carew. He's a pathological liar.
He beat me by 6 laps.
Wayman, get out of here.
Yeah, but you said to tell...
Get out of here.
Well, sure, Doc. I mean, yes, sir. No, yes, sir.
Another backfire, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what either of you is talking about.
I don't know what any of you are talking about.
You know, when you come right down to it, neither do we. Come on, let's go to the party.
In just a moment, we will return to the story of Dr. Kildare. And now, once again, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
And so, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to assure you again of my appreciation for the things you said, the sentiments you expressed, and to the distinguished members of the board for their fine gift of this handsome gold watch. Thank you.
Nincompoop. Distinguished nincompoops, Dr. Gillespie.
Thank you, Dr. Gillespie. And now, immediately following the demitasse, we are to be favored by another number from the string quartet.
Gold watch. Look at the thing, Jimmy. 35 years of my life spent here, and all they can come through with is a cheap gold-plated watch with an engine on it.
No. It's the sentiment that counts, you know.
Sentiment?
You'll love it.
All right, Jimmy. Maybe I do with that. Maybe I do.
Well, you certainly deserve it, Dr. Gillespie. This hospital could never repay what you've done for us.
Miss Verna, your generosity is only exceeded by your beauty and charm.
Well, maybe you have grown 20 years younger.
No, Jimmy. No. This last week has been sheer murder.
You know something, sweetie?
What, Jimmy?
We could stand up, walk about 5 steps, open that door, and we'd be out on the terrace.
Uh-huh. And we could close the door and... Jimmy?
Yeah.
Then what?
Darned if I know. Let's go find out.
You have just heard the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. This program was written by Les Crutchfield and directed by William P. Russo. Original music was composed and conducted by Walter Schumann. Supporting cast included Virginia Gregg, Ted Osborne, Georgia Ellis, and Ed Max. Dick Joy speaking.
Our next broadcast is a radio mystery drama which ran from May 16th, 1942 until September 27th, 1955 on CBS Radio Network. The show was also broadcast in Chicago and over Armed Forces Radio. On the West Coast, it was sponsored by the Signal Oil Company. That whistle is your signal for the Signal Oil program. The program was also adapted into a film noir series by Columbia Pictures in 1944. Each episode began with the sound of footsteps and a person whistling. The haunting signature theme tune was composed by Wilbert Hatch and featured Dorothy Roberts whistling with an orchestra. We present to you The Whistler on HOJO Radio.
Have you heard the strange tales of The Whistler? I'm the Whistler. I know John Blake isn't here. I know because he's disappeared. I know you're trying to keep it out of the press because you think he's been kidnapped. Another Sunday night, and again CBS presents The Whistler. I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. And so I tell you tonight the amazing story of the penalty. Young Alan Harper stands at the window of his small office and stares gloomily out over the city as the lights flicker on in the dusk. Alan has trouble. Perhaps he should have kept his job as a private detective. Perhaps he shouldn't have taken a law course, for he hasn't had a single client since the day he passed the bar examination. Better to give up and go back to the detective agency. Then the door opens and the figure steps into the dimly lighted room.
Are you the attorney?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm Alan Harper.
I have a little business for you.
Business? Oh, what kind of business?
I want you to draw a will and later deliver a letter for me.
A will? Oh, yes, of course.
Do you know who I am?
Well, I've certainly seen you before, but I just can't place you.
I'm John Blake, president of the Plymouth Building and Loan.
Oh, yes, of course. I've seen your picture many times.
Yes.
But why'd you come to me? You have a staff of the best attorneys in town.
I know, but because of the peculiar nature of the business at hand, I prefer an unknown, a lawyer who had no previous interest in me or my affairs.
I see.
And also one who was not doing any too well.
Well, I'll have to admit that you picked a good example.
In a few moments, you'll have guessed what I have in mind. You'll know why I can't have my own attorneys handle this.
Why not?
You have no personal interest in me, Harper. This is a cold business proposition, and I'll make it worth your while.
Yes?
When I walk out of here, I want you to forget the whole thing for a few days. Agreed?
Very well.
Then take down what I say and I'll sign it. To my daughter, Anita Blake, I leave all my property, personal and real, including the painting of her mother, Marcia Blake. This will supersedes any and all instruments of this nature previously drawn.
Yes,
that's all.
Oh?
Yes. I'll sign it now. Now, here is a letter addressed to my brother, Henry, in this city. He's recently returned after 25 years in Australia. Though he has written me several times lately, we've been estranged all these years over a situation which this letter will clear up.
Very well, Mr. Blake, but just what...
No questions, Mr. Harper, please. I want you to keep the will and letter. You'll know what to do with them when the time arrives.
Mr. Blake, are you afraid of being murdered?
No, Harper, there was a time. Oh, but not now.
Sounds a little crazy to me.
Here you are, young man. Your fee.
What?
$1,000.
Oh, but that's most unusual. Why all that?
I'm paying you that much because I know you need it badly, and your need will make you keep our agreement that you'll forget all this for a few days and say nothing to anyone.
You're planning to commit suicide, Mr. Blake.
Well, if I were?
And it's my duty to stop you.
What would my death matter to you? People die every day, commit suicide or murder. It means nothing to you.
Yes, but this is different.
Mr. Harper, I'm not planning to commit suicide.
You're sure?
Yes, I assure you. So if you don't care to go through the agreement, I'll take the money back and find someone else.
No, I believe you, Mr. Blake. I'll keep the agreement. I've got to.
Very well. Goodbye, Harper, and good luck.
Goodbye, Mr. Blake.
Young Alan Harper sits pondering over the strange event. The will, the letter. He drops the role of attorney, and his mind works from the angle of the detective. What a strange situation. Another day has passed, and toward noon, Anita Blake talks to her fiancé, Wilbur Martin.
I'm sorry to call you out here, Wilbur. I just had to talk to you.
What is it, Anita? What's wrong?
It's about Father.
Your father?
He left the office late yesterday afternoon, but he didn't come home.
Well, maybe he went to his club.
No, Wilbur. I mean, he didn't come home at all. He still hasn't come. I called his club. I called every place. Oh, wait till I tell you worried.
Why?
Well, Father's been acting strangely of late. He's so morose. I'm afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what?
I'm afraid something's happened to him.
Anita, maybe he's been kidnapped.
Wilbur, kidnapped? But if that had happened, wouldn't someone contact us by this time?
Well, maybe not. Have you called every place where you might be?
Oh, yes.
Have you called the police?
No, I wanted to wait till I talked to you.
Have you called his brother, Harry?
No, I haven't, but I don't think he's been there. You know about that situation. They haven't been on good terms for years and years. They've only seen each other once since Uncle Harry came back from Australia.
Yes, I know. He's a strange sort of person, that Hillary. I've only seen him once the time I went to his apartment with you, but he's certainly strange.
I know, but perhaps that's only natural.
What was it that caused them to become so bitter towards each other?
Well, I really don't know. Father never told me. But I think it had something to do with a girl they were both in love with.
Did your father know Hillary was coming back to the States?
Of course. Hillary wrote him several times, but Father didn't answer him.
Is your Uncle Hillary well fixed?
Yes, he became wealthy in Australia. What are you trying to say?
Are you sure he made money over there?
Of course. Father told me that many times.
Well, your father could have been misled about Hillary being well off.
Well, but I don't know what you mean. I think Uncle Hillary is all right. I rather like him. And I don't care what the differences were between them. I'm really sorry, but Uncle Hillary...
I'm not inferring anything, huh? Just that. Why don't you call Hillary and ask him to come over here?
All right.
Don't tell him about your father. Just ask him to come over here as soon as possible.
You're all wrong about this, Wilbur. I know now what you're thinking. But I'm sure you're wrong.
You call him, Anita. And let him think your father is here. Then, after we talk to him, we can call the police. Wilbur is very clever. He may be right about Hillary. Maybe Hillary knows something about his brother's strange disappearance. But then, Hillary is clever, too. Quite clever. A half hour later, Hillary arrived. What on earth is this all about?
I'm awfully glad you could come so soon, Uncle Hillary.
Johnny?
Oh, well, you remember Wilbur Martin, Uncle, my fiancé.
Yes, of course. What's wrong with you two? What's happened? Mr. Blake, how long since you've seen your brother?
It's been about 4 or 5 months, something after I came here from Australia.
Wilbur,
would you like to have a few words with him?
Why, certainly. What's happened?
Wilbur, stop this nonsense. Uncle Hillary thought it. Well, he isn't here. He's disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes, Wilbur thought maybe you knew where he was.
I see. Well, Wilbur, I don't know.
I know that now, but I just wanted to make sure.
Just let your imagination run away with you, Wilbur.
Father didn't come home last night from the office. I called every place. Every place.
What do you think? Because of him?
Well, he's been acting very strangely. I'm afraid that he's committed suicide.
Suicide?
But Wilbur thinks that somebody may have kidnapped him for ransom. We could both be right.
He could have been murdered.
I suggest that you call the police at once and check the hospital, the morgue, everything.
Yes, of course. Can you call the Wilbur, please? I can't.
Yes, Miss Brown. I'll attend to it. Wilbur calls the police, and the hospital, and the morgue. But he learns nothing of value. 2 days pass by, and still not a sign of John Blake or his body. Then Alan Harper, the attorney, visits the John Blake home.
Come in, Mr. Harper.
Thank you, Miss Blake.
This is my fiancé, Mr. Martin.
Mr. Martin?
What is it, Mr. Harper?
Is your father here, Miss Blake?
My father? Why, no.
Well, what did you want to see him about, Harper? Why, I wanted to see him on some personal business. Well, why don't you try to find him at his office? I did, but he isn't there. He hasn't been there for several days. Just what is your business, Mr. Harper? Why do you want to see Mr. Blake? I don't want to see Mr. Blake. Because I don't think he's here. I came to see Miss Blake.
What do you want, Mr. Harper? Who are you?
I'm a detective. Detective? Yes.
Go on, Mr. Harper.
I know John Blake isn't here. I know because he's disappeared. I know you're trying to keep it out of the press because you think he's been kidnapped. We called the police. We asked them to keep it quiet. Yes, I know that. But I'm working in the background.
Well, if you don't think he's here, then where do you think he is?
I think he's dead.
Dead? What? Why do you think that?
Yes, what do you know, Mr. Harper?
Oh, here you are, Lisa. I wanted to talk to you in...
Mr. Blake.
What? And who is this?
Mr. Blake. Well,
You seem startled, young man. What's wrong?
Well, yes, I am, sir. I thought...
What did you think?
Well, I thought you were dead, sir. That is, you're a detective. I'm sorry, Mr. Blake, but... Well, I guess curiosity got the better of me.
What are you talking about?
Well, you remember the agreement.
What agreement?
Wait a minute. Do you know who you're talking to?
Yes, of course. John Blake.
No, Mr. Harper, this is my uncle. My father's brother, Hillary.
Hillary? Hillary Blake?
Yes, my father's twin brother.
Twins? John and Hillary were twins? Of course. I didn't know that.
Well, apparently you know my father, John Blake.
What did you know about him? You know where he is? Well, excuse me just a moment. I've never been so startled in all my life. Yes, now that I look at him, now that I recall his speech, there's a difference. And why do you think John Blake is dead, Mr. Harper? I've just come from police headquarters.
I mean, he's been murdered?
No. No, not murdered. From all indications, he's committed suicide.
Suicide? Are you sure?
I was afraid of this.
This morning, a hat and coat and overcoat were found on the river dock. In the coat was a typewritten copy of a will made the day before yesterday. The hat bears the initial J.D.
There was a will, you say?
Yes. Could you identify the hat and coat, Miss Blake?
Of course.
Very well. Come in, Sergeant. This is Sergeant Henlon. Do you recognize this coat and hat, Miss Blake?
Yes. Yes, I do. They were Father's. Oh, Wilbur.
Yes, I can't understand it. But the hat and coat are not conclusive evidence. What about the will found in the pocket?
Show them the will, Sergeant.
You read it, Wilbur.
Yes. To my daughter, Anita Blake, I leave all my property, personal and real, including the feeling of her mother, Marcia Blake. This will supersedes any and all instruments of this nature previously drawn. There's no signature.
I have the original. Here you are.
It's the original, and it's signed. Where did you get this, Harper?
Look at the signature of the witness.
Alan Harper. You witnessed the signature?
I did.
And how do you explain that, Mr. Harper?
Because I typed the will for John Blake the night he disappeared. He signed it, and I witnessed the signature.
But why should he come to you, a detective?
It's true that I'm a detective, but I'm also an attorney at law.
But Mr. Blake has his own attorney.
Nevertheless, he came to me to draw this will. And if I hadn't recognized him from his pictures, I wouldn't have witnessed the signature.
You recognize your father's signature, Anita?
Yes. Yes, it is all right.
I still can't understand the reason for his doing such a thing. He did everything in the world, everything to live on, money, position. He must have been out of his mind.
Well, I admit he did act very strangely, but he seemed to be rational enough.
But this still isn't proof that he did it. There's no body, no proof that he committed suicide.
The body may not be found for days, but this evidence at hand certainly indicates that our body will be found eventually.
Maybe not, Mr. Harper. It's possible they could have...
What do you want to say?
Nothing.
Miss Blake, in a way, I blame myself for your father's death.
How do you mean?
While he was dictating the will, I had a premonition that he was planning to kill himself. When I confronted him with my suspicion, he was able to convince me that he had no such intention. It's obvious now why he came to me.
Why?
He wanted someone who didn't know him personally. His own attorneys would have been able to see through his plan and prevent his carrying it out.
But how did he make this new will if he'd already made one?
Yes, that's what I'd like to know. Well, I'm still not convinced that he committed suicide.
No? Well, maybe this will help. Here's a letter he asked me to deliver to Hillary Blake.
A letter? To me?
Yes. He said it would clear up a few things.
Well,
what does it say, Uncle?
Well, it says several things. Things he'd never have said unless he were going to die. Suppose you read it, Wilbur. Yes. Hillary, for 25 years now, jealousy and bitterness have kept us apart. I know why you stayed over there in Australia all these years. I know you loved Marcia. It was rightfully yours. But I loved her too. And I couldn't go on without her. I know you despised us both all these years, and I pretended to despise you. I had to pretend because I lied to Marcia. I told her you were engaged to a woman in Australia. Marcia is innocent. I was to blame. When Marcia died last year, you wrote that you were coming back. I knew that your resentment had faded, but I didn't ask you. I kept away from you because I just couldn't face it. I told you all this because things have happened, which you will learn soon enough, that have decided me to close my book and write Anita. I've made a new will, leaving everything I possess to Anita. Anita is young, Charlie. I beg of you to watch after her as though she were your own, which, but for myself, she might well have been. John. This certainly indicates suicide.
What does he mean by things have happened?
That displaces the motive for which we just have to wait.
Yes. For that and the body.
Everyone seems to be convinced that John Blake has committed suicide. That is, everyone except Wilbur Martin. But still the body has not been found. Then, one morning 4 days later, Alan Harper calls Anita and Hillary to police headquarters.
Morning, Miss Blake. Mr. Blake.
What is it, Mr. Harper?
Have you found John?
I hope you don't mind my coming along, Mr. Harper.
No, not at all, Mr. Martin.
What's happened?
They found a body this morning on the rocks at the mouth of the river. It's rather badly bruised and cut, and, well, it's in a bad condition, but I think you should look at it.
Oh,
I know how you feel, Miss Blake, but I'm afraid it's necessary.
very well. I'll be all right.
May I come through?
Please do.
This way, please. Here we are. What do you say, Miss Blake? Now, get hold of yourself, Anita. Please, you must.
Yes, that's fine.
And you, Mr. Blake?
Well, it's certainly hard to say. It looks like it might be John, but was there no means of identification on his body? I'm sure.
Father never would.
There was nothing but this suit here. Nothing in the pocket.
Oh, wasn't it? His father's suit, all right. It's Father, I know. But why? Why did he do it?
Come along, Mr. Blake. You needn't stay here any longer. No, darling. Well, I still can't understand. Let's have a word with you, Martin. Yes? All right. Oh, would you and your uncle wait here for a moment? Hillary? It could have been. But John's temples were quite gray, and he had no trace of an X in it.
Well, he could have dropped the X and engraved his temples.
Go on.
He could have gotten hold of John's clothes and hat. And after he left you, he could have killed John and thrown him in the river and left the evidence to the riverfront.
And why would Hillary kill John?
Well, there's been several reasons. Maybe because of Martha. Maybe, several reasons.
Did John Blake object to your engagement to Anita?
No. Why should he?
Anita Blake identified her father's handwriting on the will and the letter to Hillary. She identified the body, but you keep harping about murder.
Maybe she only thought it was his handwriting.
You'd better be careful, Wilbur. If you're trying to make a murder out of it, you may hang yourself.
What?
How? False accusation. I've still got the will and the letter to Hillary. I checked the papers at John's office. The writing was the same.
Maybe Hillary's clever at forgery.
Maybe.
Did you hear the experts check the writing?
Not yet.
Well, then how can you tell unless you had a sample of Hillary's writing?
I think that you had a sample of Hillary's writing. You found the letters from Hillary to John?
Yes. Found a packet of them. It's on the desk.
Good. That will be what I was looking for.
Well, there they are. Several of them tied together.
Now, I'll tell you something. I never thought John committed suicide. I think he was murdered.
You do?
Yes. And before you go, Wilbur, I'd like to have a sample of your handwriting here on this pad.
Very well.
Thank you, Wilbur. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, Sergeant, have you finished checking?
Yes, Harper, I've finished.
And what's the verdict?
Well, this is the cleverest bit of forgery I've ever come across. This would have passed any place if the question hadn't come up.
So?
This will and the letter to Hillary would certainly get by anyone as having been written by John Blake.
Yes?
When comparing the suicide letter from John to Hillary with this letter Hillary wrote from Australia, we notice a difference, but a basic similarity.
Would the fact that they're twins be the reason for that?
No, on closer examination, we find characteristics which couldn't appear in both letters if they were twins.
Then you agree with me that Hillary must have written the suicide letter and signed the will.
I certainly do. It's a tough thing to prove. I think you're on the right track, but, well,
all I can do is bluff it through, eh?
I'm afraid you'll have to work on forcing a confession on this case.
Did you check all these letters from Hillary?
No, just those on top.
Well, I'd appreciate it if you checked them all.
Just as you say.
Now, what about young Wilbur Martin?
Well, so far I can't see much in him to worry about, but then you never can tell.
I think Hillary's the man, all right. I thought that for some time. But I'll just phone out to the house and tell Wilbur Martin that we've uncovered the whole thing, and if Wilbur's in on it, he'll be gone when I get there. He can be picked up later.
Okay, I'll check the rest of Hillary's letter.
Go ahead. I won't phone out there till you finish.
10 minutes later, a startling piece of news breaks. The headlines are screamed by newsboys. Extras flood the streets. And Wilbur Martin rushes to the Blake home and faces Anita and Hillary Blake.
What is it, Wilbur? What's wrong?
Yes, for heaven's sake, what's happened?
You haven't heard? You don't know, Anita? No, what do you mean?
Well, look at these headlines.
In this building and loan crashes. Well, but what does it mean?
I'll tell you. John Blake embezzled the company funds and have gone to the wall. What? Yes, close the door.
Wilbur, no, I can't believe that.
I'm sorry, Anita. There it is, in black and white.
Then that's the motive for his suicide.
Why?
Why? Because he knew he was caught. What else?
He could have put the money back, couldn't he?
Yes, but maybe he lost it by trying to make more to cover up the shortage.
I don't think he lost.
You don't?
No.
Nonsense, he must have. Why would he kill himself?
Maybe he didn't kill himself.
No, please, Anita. You mustn't worry. I know this is very embarrassing for you, but it isn't your fault. Let me take you away for a while. We can run down to Mexico till this blows over.
You won't take her to Mexico. You won't take her anyplace.
Just what do you mean?
What's wrong with you, Wilbur? You're acting stupid.
Do you want to go to Mexico with a murderer?
What?
Your father may have built the company, but I don't believe he lost the money.
Wilbur.
He hid it. And your Uncle Hilary found out where he hid it, and he set up the suicide to cover your father's murder.
Crazy. Out of your mind.
It doesn't make sense. I have all the money I need.
Yes, you have now.
You're a fool. Pack your things anyway. I'll phone the airport for a reservation.
You won't leave this room.
Do you know what can be done to you for threatening people with firearms? I'll call the police.
You don't need to call the police. They're on the way here now. Just talk to that detective, Mr. Harper. It proves that you wrote the John's will and the suicide letter. You killed John, and you have the money.
Wilbur, you're crazy. You're out of your mind.
I know what I'm talking about.
Get out here. Get out.
Get out! No, I won't leave. No one will leave till they come. Here, you got here just in time, Mr. Harper. Hilary was going to Mexico on the next plane and taking Anita with him.
Mexico?
Yes, he knows everything. I just told him about the handwriting discovery. John Blake stole the money from the loan company. Hilary here found out about it and learned where it was hidden and killed John.
He's talking nonsense.
Mr. Blake, Sergeant Evans here is the police handwriting expert. He's examined the will and the suicide letter from John. He's also checked them with your recent letters from Australia.
What?
And your letters from Australia show a definite resemblance, the same characteristics which appear in the will and the suicide letter.
You wrote the suicide letter?
Definitely.
And we can get a conviction on it.
Ridiculous.
But there's something else. The will mentions a painting of Marcia Blake, Anita's mother. Where's that painting?
There it is, on the wall.
Just a moment. I hope you don't mind, Miss Blake.
You're tearing off your back.
Yes. Yes. And there you are. There's the reason why.
Thousands in negotiable bonds. Then Hilary did know about the money. He did kill John for all this.
I did no such thing.
No. No, that's right. You didn't kill John Blake.
But then who did?
Look at these two letters from Hilary Blake to John. What are the dates?
September and November 1940.
Those were Hilary's last letters to John. Now look at these. June and July 1920. You notice any difference?
All are signed by Hilary. But the ones dated 1920 are not at all like the ones written in 1940.
Not the least similarity. We just discovered these old letters. The ones dated 1920 were written by Hilary. But the ones dated 1940 were written by John.
John? What do you mean?
You're under arrest, Mr. Blake, not for murder, because there's been no murder. You're under arrest on a charge of embezzlement.
Embezzlement?
And you, Miss Blake, are under arrest as an accomplice.
Oh, but what are you saying?
At first, we overlooked the earlier letters of Hilary Blake, but when we saw them, we knew they were not the same hand. We knew John forged the recent one. Furthermore, I checked with Australia. Hilary Blake died in Sydney 10 years ago. This man is John Blake, posing as Hilary to escape the penalty for looting the company.
Nita, you...
Anita knew all about it. She's in on the plan. Oh, it was a clever one. And they might have gotten away with the phony suicide, but he picked the wrong attorney. Oh, here's your $1,000, Blake. But I'm afraid it won't do either of you much good now. Well, that's the story. John had gone to great lengths in laying his plan, but he made a mistake by failing to destroy the early letters from Hilary. And he underestimated Wilbur's intelligence. John had covered every point. He had even established residence in an apartment as Hilary. Had used the story of estrangement as an excuse for not associating with Hilary. And what of the body in the morgue? That's where they slipped again. The police knew the identity of the body. That was merely a trap played by Alan Harper. Anita was too quick in identifying the first body she saw. Too anxious. It was obviously not her father. But the finding of an unidentified body seemed so convenient that she jumped at the chance to declare it was John Blake. Yes, there's many a slip twixt, but you know the rest. CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time, I, the Whistler, will return to tell you another unusual story. Good night. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Stay tuned to HOJO Radio.
Have you heard the strange tales of the Whistler?
I know all about you and what you've done. You're trying to run away, but I'm going with you.
Saturday night, and CBS presents The Whistler. I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. And so I tell you tonight the story of the killers. The rain beats down in torrents, and during the brief flashes of lightning, a certain stone building stands out in the darkness of the night, the courthouse of a county in a southwestern state. A murder trial has come to a conclusion, a sensational trial in which the young killer has been tried and convicted of the brutal slaying of 5 people, his employer, Farmer Atkins, and Atkins' entire family. The defense, appointed by the state, contended that the slayer was insane. Now the killer stands before the judge.
The jury has found that on the night of September 13th, the entire Atkins family was brutally slain with a meat cleaver wielded by the defendant, Joe Nichols. In the absence of sufficient motive other than the $20 found on the defendant was placed under observation by the state psychiatrist. And the said state psychiatrist find the defendant suffering from dementia praecox. Therefore, it is the duty of this court to commit the defendant to the state institution for the insane.
And so, Joe Nichols was taken to the state asylum, there to be placed under observation and treatment. Now let us travel south in the same state to a certain farm, a farm belonging to the widow Agatha Mayberry. There's no connection whatever between Agatha Mayberry and the insane killer Joe Nichols, but let us go to the farm anyway. Agatha's husband died 3 years ago and left her with a rather large farm. At first she managed things very well, but then came the war, and hands became scarcer and scarcer. Then Agatha's sister Ellen came to live with her, and Ellen's daughter, a lazy girl named Della.
Storm is coming up stronger now. Did you get those calves in like I told you, Della?
What did you say, Aunt Agatha?
Get your nose out of that magazine and you could hear me. Aunt Agatha wanted to know if you looked after the calves, darling.
No, I forgot.
You'll have to excuse Della. She just can't get used to this sort of life in so short a time. You've both been here almost a year. Give her time, Agatha.
Give her time. I'll give her time. Get out there, Della, and see if those calves are under shelter.
I might catch my death of cold in this storm.
Those calves are worth more than you are. Go on.
She's frightened to death of lightning, Agatha.
I don't think she's frightened of anything.
Why don't you hire a man to do these things?
Wish I could. Men are scarce these days, all in the army.
Oh, poor baby. Poor baby. You stay here. I'll go and see to the calves.
You'll do no such thing, Ellen. Stay here and take care of your baby. And I'll attend to the calves.
Well, she'll be all right just as soon as the storm's over.
Yeah? Well, you've got to do something around here, Della. At least you can wash the dishes.
But I dried them yesterday.
Don't hurt your beautiful hands. Anyway, I've got to do something around here under these conditions.
You need a man. You need a farmhand.
Yes, but I can't get one. So the only thing I can do is to get rid of some of this land. Sell it to someone who can handle it.
Well, Mr. Dalton made you an offer for part of it, Agatha. He offered to buy some.
Yes, I know. And he can handle it. Has a couple of sons. And a daughter who isn't afraid to get her hands dirty.
So, how much do you think he'd pay for it?
Well, I don't know. But I'm going to find out.
Agatha, where are you going?
I'm going to see Mr. Dalton, my neighbor. If I can make a deal, I'll make it tonight.
But it's storming yet, Agatha.
I've been in storms before. I'll drive over there and be back in an hour. I'm not a sissy. Go on to bed, Della, and pull the covers over your head.
And Agatha's selfish. She's mean. All she thinks about is this farm and work. I don't know anything about a farm. I can't learn. I won't.
Well, you don't belong on a farm, Della. Doesn't suit you.
I won't hurt animals. I won't milk cows.
Oh, there, darling, don't cry. Mother understands.
No one understands me. I won't be a slave. And Agatha's trying to make a slave of me. There are people for such work. There are men for such things.
But men are scared, darling. Men are scared.
Then we'll leave. We won't put up with this.
Well, how can we leave, baby? We have no money.
No. Well, I won't take care of animals. I'm going to be a model. I should be in New York or in Hollywood.
Now, darling, don't let yourself get excited.
Mean, selfish.
I hate her. Please, Della, darling, calm yourself.
Who does she think she is, ordering me around like a slave? I won't stand for it. Miserly old fool. I hate her.
You don't mean a word you say, darling. You're just upset now. Please try and relax. Please. No.
While Della, poor little Della, sobs and sobs in a fit of hysteria, Aunt Agatha drives on through the raging storm, and 10 minutes later pulls to a stop in front of her nearest neighbor's house, the house of Farmer Dalton.
Anybody home? Dalton.
Well, land of mercy, Agatha Mayberry. Come on in, come in.
You must think I'm kind of crazy running around on a night like this, Mr. Dalton.
Well, there must be a reason for it, Agatha.
Yes, there is. I want to talk business.
Business? All right, what's on your mind all of a sudden?
You want to buy the east half of the farm?
Why, sure, I told you I did.
What was your offer?
$2,000.
Well, that's a little low, don't you think?
Well, perhaps, but what are you going to be able to do with it? You ain't got no menfolk around. You'll have to let it go to grass.
Yes, I know that. But if we could only get a few women to give up their fancy manicures and long fingernails, it wouldn't hurt them any, I know. I've tried it.
Yeah, you're right about that, Agatha.
Well, let's get down to business. You'll give me $2,000 for the east half of my land?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's the deal.
Good. Shake. Now, how do you want it?
Well, how are you prepared to handle it?
Well, I'll tell you, I collected $1,000 cash from Henry Jacobs late this afternoon. It was too late to put in the bank, so I'll just give you that cash and a note for 12 months on the balance.
All right, fair enough. Make out the note.
All right. I, John Dalton, in consideration, in the sum of $1,000. There you are, Agatha.
I see. Well, shouldn't we have a witness to this transaction?
If you want it that way, sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to thank you, Mr. Dalton. That was a swell supper.
Oh, come in here a minute. I want you to do something.
Sure, anything you say, Mr. Dalton. What can I do?
Joe, this is Mrs. Agatha Mayberry, my neighbor of the West. She just sold me the east half of her land. I'm paying her half cash and the other half on a 12-month note. Like you to witness that note, if you would, Joe.
Is that necessary?
Oh, I don't know, but that's the way Agatha wants it.
Very well, I'll witness it. There you are.
Thanks, Joe.
And who is this man?
Well, Joe came here today, early this morning, and he's worked like a dog all day, done 10 men's work, and that's something I can't understand.
What do you mean?
Well, he's been discharged from the Army because of a physical reason. He's a 4F, but certainly didn't show any bad signs today.
I can still do a lot of useful things.
I thought you had enough men around here to handle things.
Oh, I have, but he's broke and hungry.
Well, if you don't really need him, how about lending him to me? I could use him.
Yes, that's right. You could. She's got a farm and not a man on the place, Joe. How about it, huh?
Sure, I'd be glad to help her.
Fine. Well, you go on with Mrs. Mayberry. She really needs help, Joe. She lives alone with her sister and her young niece, and they can't help her much, but you can.
It's a deal.
Right. Well, here's your $1,000 cash, Agatha, and the note. Next payment's due in 30 days. I'll have it there.
I'm not worried about you, John. See you later.
Well, now, you better keep an eye on me. I'm a strange sort of critter. I forget sometimes, you know.
Well, come along, young man. It's getting late, and the storm's getting worse.
Yes, I know. Are you alone?
Yes.
Good night, Mr. Dalton, and thanks for everything.
Night, Joe.
What'd you say your name was?
I didn't say. But my name's Joe.
Oh, I see. Ever do any farm work, Joe?
Yes, I've done a little, here and there.
You're sure welcome.
Why did you sell half of your farm?
Because I couldn't take care of it.
You sold it short, didn't you?
Yep, $2,000. And it's really worth $4,000. He gave me $1,000 cash and this note for the balance.
Aren't you worried about carrying $1,000 in cash?
No, why should I be worried?
Oh, I don't know, but it's kind of risky.
Is it?
Aren't you afraid of me?
No, I'm not afraid of anyone.
No? Well, that's good.
How long have you been out of the Army?
3 days, over 4 months. I was wounded in Bataan. But I can do lots of things, even if I am discharged.
Well, I'm glad to have you. Glad to have anyone who can do anything.
It's a dark road, isn't it?
Yep, no one could drive on it if they didn't know it.
Any crossroads?
No, none.
How much farther is your place?
About 2 miles.
Oh, that far, huh? It's a big farm.
Well, what do you think of that? Must have got wet after all.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, I hope it keeps going. I'd hate to have to walk the rest of the way in this storm. Such mud.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good, would it? Maybe you better stop and let me have a look under the hood.
All right. Shall I turn off the motor?
No, not yet. Oh, your fan isn't working. The belt's slipping and your motor's too hot.
Well, can you fix it?
Yeah, I can fix it. Have you got a wrench?
Yes, in that door pocket.
Oh, yes. Here we are. This'll do it. Turn it off.
Well, what are you staring at?
Oh, I was just thinking what a brave woman you are to be riding around alone on a night like this with $1,000 in cash.
Seems to me Agatha's been gone quite a while, Della.
Yes, in almost an hour.
Maybe she got stuck or something happened to the car.
It's all right if it did. I don't care if she never comes back.
Yeah, what do you say? You don't mean that.
Well, maybe not. But I was just thinking.
So were you, but you won't admit it. Admit what?
If she didn't come back, why, then we could leave here. We could go to New York or Hollywood and I could follow my career.
How?
Well, we could sell the farm and everything. Have plenty of money to live on till I got started.
We sell the farm?
Don't be so dumb, Mother. Wouldn't you inherit all her property?
Don't talk like that, Della. It frightens me.
I can imagine how frightened you are. You're not afraid something has happened to her. You're afraid something won't.
Be still.
All right.
Getting worse.
Yes. That'll make the road slicker, muddier. Be hard to keep from skidding.
Stella, don't open it.
Who's there?
It's all right. Open the door.
Good news, maybe, Mother. What is it?
Oh, gee, it's mighty wet out here. Are you Mrs. Mayberry's niece?
Yes? What happened?
Well, she had a little trouble and...
Where is she? Is she all right? I'm her sister.
No, don't close the door. She'll be along in a moment.
Is she... How did it happen?
Well, the fan belt slipped and the motor got hot, and then when she started down that steep hill, the car started to slide, and she went into a tree at the bottom.
I see. Where is she now?
Well, I got in the garage all right. Not hurt much. Front axle bent a little.
Agatha! What? She's all right.
Yeah, but I certainly had the time with that car. Well, what do you mean, all right? Of course I'm all right.
But we thought...
Take some tea, Ellen. I'm frozen stiff.
Who's this man?
Oh, this is Joe. Joe, this is my niece Stella, and this is her mother, my sister Ellen.
We've met.
We're going to have a man around here. Joe's the new hand. Maybe we'll get something done around here for a change.
Did you make the deal with Mr. Dalton?
Sure. And he paid me $1,000 down in cash. Balance monthly. Joe here was witness to the deal.
Witness?
Yes, I happened to be at the Dalton's place. I worked there today. Your aunt said she needed a hand, so here I am.
You're going to stay here?
Of course.
Well, how nice.
Your aunt's a very brave woman to take a chance riding with a stranger and $1,000 cash around her neck.
Oh, I'm not afraid. I'm a pretty good judge of people. Well, since you aren't going to make that tea, Ellen, I'll do it myself. Sit down, Ellen, before you fall down. Turn on the radio, Della. I want to hear the news in a little bit.
Are you married, Mr. Joe?
No,
You're not in the army?
I was. Medical discharge.
You look tired, sir.
Yes, I am. I wonder if you'd mind if I'd turn in.
Not at all.
Well, is there a separate building for the hands?
No, I suppose Aunt Agatha intends for you to have a spare room upstairs. The end of the hall.
I see. Well, good night, Miss...
My name is Stella.
Good night, Stella.
Good night, Joe.
Good night.
Night, ma'am.
He's a bit odd, isn't he? I like him. He's not bad looking, either.
A farmer and his entire family with a meat cleaver. He was later found to be insane and sentenced to the insane asylum. He escaped last night and is believed to be heading south. This man is dangerous, regardless of his seeming sanity, and authorities are to be notified of any man answering his description. He is 5'9", dark brown hair, blue eyes, and his name is Joe Nichols. He was last seen...
Stella! Stella! It's him. And his name is Joe.
Yes, Stella. His name is Joe. Upstairs in that spare room is Joe, a mad killer. That frightens you, doesn't it? You and your mother and your aunt, 3 women alone in a house with a madman. And the man knows about the $1,000. What are you going to do, Della?
What are we going to do, Della? What do we do? Quiet, Mother. I'll tell Agatha. Agatha should know. Come back here. Be quiet. Agatha should be warned. Maybe she'll know what to do. No, not a word to Aunt Agatha. It would only frighten her. Well, then call the police. Call somebody. We can't. The phone isn't working. It's gone dead. Gone dead? No. What do you mean? What I said. I tried it earlier this evening. Well, when? I don't remember. You be still. Now go upstairs and go to bed. Go upstairs? What? No, Della, I can't. We've got to tell Agatha. Go to bed. But what if he should... Della, he knows about that money. I'd kill us all for sleep. There's a gun in this table drawer. I can see both your room and Aunt Agatha's from this chair by the door. I'll stay here in the dark until morning. Understand? Yes, but please. Go on upstairs before Agatha sees you. Go on.
Well, where's everybody? Where's Joe?
Said he was tired, so he went to bed. Mother just went up. After all, it is late, Aunt Agatha.
Yeah, right, it is.
You look tired, Aunt. Perhaps you'd better...
What's the matter with you? What are you trembling about?
Trembling? Why, well, I think I've taken cold. A little chill. I'll be all right.
Better take some quinine and go to bed yourself.
Yes, but I haven't been sleeping well lately. I'll read for a little while. Then I'll be back.
I missed the news. What did it say?
It said that, nothing's important.
Oh, I see. Well, better drink some warm milk and go to bed. Right.
Good night.
Why didn't you tell her, Della? Do you really think you can handle the situation? You think you can cope with a madman? Your face grows more pale. Your hands tremble. Della steps to the table, studies the phone, then opens the drawer, takes the revolver, turns out the lights, and slips into the chair by the door. As the hours pass, the storm increases to a fury. It is 3 a.m. now, and Agatha sleeps soundly in her four-poster bed. Then her door opens softly, and a tall figure steps into the room, slips to the side of Agatha's bed. A few moments pass, then a hand reaches toward Agatha's throat, removes the money bag. Agatha opens her eyes.
What do you want? What is it you...
The storm has reached its peak. A few minutes later, it has passed over, leaving only the fall of a light rain. Suddenly, Della stirs in the chair beside the door. A figure is slowly, stealthily coming down the stairs. Reaches the bottom and starts to cross the room toward Della. She waits breathlessly, then snaps on the light.
Where were you going?
Why, I was What are you doing down here?
Where were you going?
Well, the storm woke me up, and I got a little hungry. I thought I'd have a look in the kitchen.
You were headed the wrong way, Joe.
Huh?
The kitchen is over there.
Oh, yeah? Yes, sure. I guess I got turned around in the dark.
I don't think you were confused, Joe.
What do you mean?
You had no intention of spending the night here. And you weren't planning to start work in the morning.
Of course I was.
I know who you are, Joe. I know all about you.
What? How do you know?
Radio. There was a warning on the description. They said you were in Mississippi.
And what are you going to do? Phone the police?
No. Phone's dead.
Yes?
I'm not ready. I understand your comment, Joe.
What do you mean by that?
I don't condemn you. I sympathize with you.
You do?
Yes.
If they know I'm in the vicinity, then I've got to get out of here.
You've got a little money. Haven't you, Joe?
Yes?
Then I'm going with you.
What? You're going... What do you mean? I can't do that?
Yes, you can. You've got to. Once we're across the state line, everything will be all right.
State line? I don't get it.
I've got to get away from here. I've got to. I'm being held here against my wishes.
Held here?
Yes, they think I'm crazy, unbalanced.
Crazy? You don't act crazy to me.
Neither do you. But they've got some reason for keeping me here, and I can't stand it any longer. I've left before, but I haven't got a cent, and they watch me like a hawk. Here are the keys to the car.
I don't need a car. I can hide out better on foot. I don't want anybody with me, especially a girl. And besides, I don't intend to cross the state line.
But you're taking me with you.
Nothing doing. I'm getting out now while it's dark.
Wait a minute.
What?
Shoot if I can. Open that door and go to the garage. Now go on. Remember, you're a fugitive. If I shoot you, they'll think nothing of it. Straight ahead to the garage. Turn here. This is the main highway.
Well, why the main highway? I'd rather keep to the side.
I wouldn't. Straight ahead.
Maybe they're right. Maybe you are nuts.
Are you crazy, Joe?
Certainly not.
Of course not. Neither am I.
Where does this highway go?
To the state line.
Look, I'm in a tough enough spot as it is. I'm not going to try and cross the state line with a girl at this time of the morning.
I'll take care of it. I know it. Straight ahead.
Oh, Sapphire. I could wring your neck for this.
You're just the one who could do it.
I've got one chance in 1,000 of getting over that line.
We'll make it all right. We'll make it. And keep both hands on that wheel. I know what you're thinking.
I could turn this car over, you know.
But you won't. Will you?
Hey, look. Red lights ahead.
State line.
One of the lights is swinging. They're signaling to stop police officers.
Yes. Faster, Joe, faster. Go right on through them. They'll never catch us. I said faster. We've made it. Keep going.
Hey. I don't know. I think we've broken the system rod. Let's go. Craig can't take us to be in. Oh. Look back. Here they come. Now I am stuck.
Don't move, Joe. right where you are.
You little sap.
Don't you move or I'll shoot.
Put up your hands, buddy. What have you been drinking?
All right.
What's the idea of running over the state line like that? Didn't you see the lights?
Well, you see, I
Maybe he's colorblind, Tom. Thought they were green.
He seems to be sober, all right. Let's see your driver's license.
I haven't got one.
See your draft card.
I haven't got one. That is, with me.
Well, you hear that, Frank? Who are you?
Hey, come on. Look, slumped down in the seat.
The girl. Throw your light on her.
Look at her face, all bloody.
Open the door. She's been bashed in the mouth. Wait a minute. Is this your gun, buddy?
No.
What's this little pouch on the seat?
I don't know.
Look, Tom. Look at the bills. Look at the wad of money.
Hey, sister. Are you all right?
All right, sister. We're state police.
Please.
What happened to you?
It's him.
Who is this man?
He came to our farm last night. He robbed my aunt and made me come with him. He kidnapped me.
She's crazy. She's a nut.
When we crossed the line, I tried to scream and he hit me.
You don't know who he is?
No, his name is Joe. I think he's the lunatic who escaped from the asylum yesterday.
She's crazy, I tell you.
Get out of that car, buddy. You'll come into headquarters. Go on, miss. What happened then?
Well, after Mother and I heard the announcement on the radio, I knew it was him. I couldn't call the police because the phone was dead.
Why didn't you go for help?
Because he knew that Aunt Agatha had the money. I was afraid to go because of what he might do. I got Aunt's gun and sat by the door where I could see him if he went into his room.
Yes?
But I must have fallen asleep because I waked up just in time to see him coming down the stairs and start for the outer door. I turned on the light and he said he was looking for the kitchen.
It was then you realized that while you'd been asleep that he'd gone into your aunt's room, killed her, and taken the money? So your mother would inherit the estate.
How can you say such a thing? That's horrible.
You knew so your mother would inherit the estate.
How can you say such a thing? That's horrible.
You knew Joe would try to make a getaway when you told him about the broadcast. You had the money and the gun. You forced him to take you across the state line. You knew we'd chase you and catch you. You dropped the money bag in the seat, and when we caught up to you, you hit yourself in the mouth with the gun butt.
I didn't.
Ah, yes, you did. We know all about it. It was you who went into your aunt's room, took the money, and hit her on the head.
How can you say that?
Because your aunt saw you standing over her bed. She called headquarters an hour ago.
She what?
Yeah. You didn't hit her hard enough, Della. And you lied about that phone. It was never out of order.
She isn't dead. Oh. But this is ridiculous. Why would I do such a thing? Here's an escaped lunatic. A mad killer. Why should I be accused of such a thing?
Della, Joe Nichols was captured a half hour after the broadcast. This man isn't Joe Nichols. He's Joe Davis, a deserter from Camp Higsby. But I think he's ready to go back and face the music.
Oh, believe me, Lieutenant, I thought I couldn't stand it there any longer. So I ran away. But after all this, well, just take me back to camp. It'll be like paradise.
Well, there you are. A strange story that might very well have ended disastrously for Joe if Della hadn't slipped up on two things. The telephone and the failure to learn if Aunt Agatha was really dead. Even though Joe has not escaped as an escaped lunatic, he might very easily have been charged with murder had it not been for the over-anxiety of the vicious-minded Della. Della wasn't crazy. She was just a selfish little fool with no thought for anyone or anything except her own individual existence. There are a lot of you like that. Think it over.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time,
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you another unusual tale. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Thanks for listening to HOJO Radio. We'll be back again very soon.